Hey, everyone, test the mics for me. Speak.
Hello,
And the
hello.
world can hear us. Isn't that
We're
great?
so
Hi.
well
We're
framed.
getting better. We are better framed. That is different than well framed. Better framed.
Ugh.
Better
I
framed.
like it.
Excellent. Thank you. I am fond. I just moved Juniper a little bit, and I'm gonna crop her a little bit more awkwardly. There you go. Perfect. Just so that we don't get Juniper and Samhain simultaneously. Okay, hey everyone, hope you're doing well. We are in a very scary, intense situation. So, in a classic Dungeon Master tradition, instead of dealing with that intense situation, we are going to talk about leveling up and all that good stuff. Some of y'all leveled up. Some of you are holding off or banking your level up for a minute. That's fine too. Also, know that this is a very forgiving game. If you take an ability and then decide this ability actually doesn't work for my character, or my character probably wouldn't use this ability that much anymore, actually. I think I tried it and I didn't like it. Or, I thought this would be powerful. It turns out it's not. All those are reasonable decisions to make, and you can absolutely change your mind about anything that you may or may not be doing. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. Try to change things within the last 2 levels, rather than, like, don't become a level 15 sorcerer and say, actually, I wish I was a level 15 fighter, and then we have to like manipulate the fiction. I'd rather you build a new character entirely for that circumstance, although that is of course also allowed. Um, so all that good stuff. So let's talk about what everyone got as they leveled up and all that good stuff. Some of you have made those decisions. Let's start with Kaz, who is in no way, shape, or form in a precarious position. Kaz, tell us
Not at
what's going on.
all. Oh boy. Well, Kaz has taken the oath of vengeance, so she's got two new channel divinities, Vow of Enmity and Abjure Enemy, and also as a Scourge Asimar, she now has Radiant Consumption.
What does radiant consumption do? Tell me what that is.
Damn.
Her eyes and mouth explode in a bright light a 10-foot radius, and everyone in the area, including herself, takes radiant damage, which is, I think, at this level, I think 1 or 2 points.
Nice. Remind me to learn that ability next time I level up. Uh,
I'm in
uh
danger.
don't piss Kaz off. That's
Yeah,
that's that's
and
rule number one now.
yeah, you should not.
So
She
only give
has
Kaz a cookie in the correct manner.
Oh my
Yeah.
yeah, or else she'll
god.
just explode
Yeah, of course.
literally. Yeah, that's the main stuff, and then she got Bane and Hunter's Mark as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great.
So
Wow, so you got a lot of stuff. 2 new spells, Bane and Hunter's Mark. Bane being sort of a classic debuff for enemies. They suck at things that they were formerly good at. And Hunter's Mark being sort of a classic buff for you. Every time you do damage, you do more damage. Plus, things have a hard time escaping you, which makes sense with your vengeancey paladininess.
yes.
I like that. That feels very good to me. And then you got 2 channel divinities. Tell me what Vow of Enmity does.
Vow of Enmity is so she can utter a vow of enmity um, against a creature that's like, I think, within 10 feet
Mm.
of her, and she gets advantage on attack rolls for 1 minute or until they go unconscious.
Well, that sounds like it's pretty powerful. I like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what about Abjure Enemy?
That one, choose a creature within 60 feet that you can see, and then that creature must make a wisdom saving throw unless it's immune to being frightened. On a failed save, the creature's frightened, or until they take damage.
Yeah, that one actually I think is very useful and underutilized. I know many paladins, and if they go Oath of Vengeance, they use that Vow of Enmity all the time. Basically,
Yeah.
every chance they get. And that
Yeah,
Abjure Enemy
probably.
is sometimes ignored entirely. I think it's pretty cool though. It's a fun little, let's scare some people's pants off and all that good stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I like it quite a bit. You're also level 3, so that means all your mods go up by 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Right? We go from plus 2
Mm-hmm.
to plus 3 with our proficiency bonuses.
Oh
So,
no, it's still +2.
oh, never mind. I
But
remember
I
D&D.
I have more lay on hands.
More lay on hands is good too. Excellent. Let's turn the camera up above you to Juniper over here. I don't know how to point.
It's okay. Not too much really happened with Juniper. I already took my, School of Illusion thing, and I gained a spell slot or two. Should I say the spells that I
Yeah, absolutely.
added? Okay, gotcha.
Yes, you've gotten some new... I mean, level 3 is kind of a big level for you, right? Because that means you get second level spells.
Yes, I do have second level spells. I thought, is it possible for me as a wizard to change those spells later on, or are these kind of stuck here forever?
They're stuck here forever. If we need to change things, that's certainly reasonable. But another thing that's just true about wizards is that it is quite possible, even highly recommended, to go and learn new spells. Obviously, we have our wizards' towers in the world, and you're not necessarily near one. But there might be like a library or a bookshop here that might have spells in them, or you might come across spells in other locations on scrolls and things like that you can utilize. So there's always the wizard gets less versatility than some of the other caster classes in the sense that they can swap out their spells as they need it, but your spell list is much, much, much bigger, and you can sort of have limitless versatility depending on how nice your GM is.
Yeah, so with that, I've gained darkness and mirror image.
Nice.
As second level spells.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have detect magic as my next first level spell.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually I'll get another tail. Maybe.
Yeah, next time you go to bed. You're going to grow in the middle of the night. It's going to be very weird. I like it.
It'll be traumatizing.
Yeah, it'll be traumatizing in all the best senses. Okay, let's look over there now. Thomas, you're sort of a big one. Lots going on over there, Sarah. What does Thomas get this upgrade?
Thomas will be committing to the Pact of the Chain, whether he realizes what that is or not. That is what is happening with him. That's where Thomas is at. He doesn't get any more spell slots. He gets to learn a second level spell, I believe. And I know we discussed one thing, but I'm going to shelve that. I'm actually going to have him learn Block of Familiars.
Okay.
Which was my first plan. Because what's better than one telepathic purple pseudo dragon?
3.
Yeah.
So
talking in your head, exploding out of seemingly nowhere.
Yeah.
Here for you.
So have you read the Flock of Familiar spells? I just want to make sure before you.
I have. I really love it.
Okay, great. Then that's...
Basically, it just seems like we can send more scouts in more directions and basically have a little more stealthy capability before we, I don't know, decide to break into a warehouse in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's great. It is a spell that is very rarely utilized.
And I feel like it is a spell that could be very adorable.
I totally and completely agree. Thank you for preparing me for this. I appreciate
I'm
that.
Sorry.
No,
sorry. I should have messaged you beforehand.
No, it's fine. I like it. I like being sprung. Okay, and you also get some invocations at this level, right?
Yes. One of them in the UA material that we were looking over.
The stuff that came out
behind the
today.
Curtains.
Cool.
Looked really well. I mean, it looked really good. But I kind of want to stick to what I originally had and maybe think about it down the road, kind of like the knock spell.
Sure.
Kind of shelve that. The invocations that I had already committed him to are Agonizing Blast to get a little more oomph behind the Eldritch Blast, because that's one of the few things that he has
Always
that
good
is
to have a
offensive
powerful
to protect himself.
Eldritch Blast, yeah.
And alternately, I had him take Eyes of the Runekeeper because it seemed to fit well with his background. I've been pretty heavily exploring his background as, a member of, this city and, the people that he knows and the people in society that he knows. And I wanted to kind of bring a little more back to, because his religion and his cloister and his cult weren't necessarily the most scholarly, but I feel like he would have been learned to an extent, having come from a merchant family as well, and having something that would enable him to get some more information, some more knowledge, some more reading capability would be good for the character.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So you went utility and combat. Wow,
Yes.
well-rounded. I approve.
Oh yes.
Excellent, good stuff. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, the Wizards of the Coast team released an Unearthed Arcana, which is one of their playtest supplements today, for sort of updates to a lot of the standard classes. I don't think they're really seriously considering a Player's Handbook 2, but in addendum or something like that, some possible alterations and things like that. Some of them seem really, really powerful. Some of them seem fun. A lot of them seem good. Some of them seem needed. Some of them seem weird to me, but make sense in the context of D&D. But, all good stuff. And I did give it to my players and say, feel free to take a look at this if you want. Sawin, you're banking your level up. Is that what I heard you say you wanted to do?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure what I want, and I actually haven't even taken a look at the UA stuff that came out today in reference to bards.
Yeah, the big stuff for bards are pretty minor from my perspective, but it's spell versatility. It's the ability to swap out a spell, I think when you gain a level, or maybe with bards it's when you take a rest or something like that.
Yeah, bards are kind of kooky like that.
Yeah.
But I was at the end of last session. I was torn between like 3 colleges. I decided I was stuck between the College of Eloquence, the College of Glamour, and the College of Whispers. College of Whispers is probably a little bit too sinister for Sawin at this point in time.
Yeah, it certainly is like a very.
It's like really
I'm gonna get
heavy
you
and...
alone in a room, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
be scared out of your mind for the next hour.
Yeah, it's
very torturing.
It's a little intense, and I don't think
I played a
that
College
is
of Whispers
him.
bard.
Yeah, I don't think
Makes perfect
that's
sense,
him
doesn't it?
right now.
Yeah, I agree. I also do not think that he is. He is that sinister.
So the College of Glamour would just be like more of like a showstopper type of deal, and then the College of Eloquence is definitely more really adept at like public speaking and things like that. So both of them I think would fit him really well. It's just I now have to commit to a bit, and I don't know which bit I want to commit to. So
yeah, excellent.
So I'm banking it.
Sounds
I'm going to
good.
be level 2 again.
Fine by me.
For this session.
I have no objection. I will encourage you all to go over the level up variant rules that we're using, and also remember the inspiration variant rules that we are using. It's not hard to gain inspiration, but it is your job to do it, and you can gain it once per session. So you might as well use it. It's basically a free advantage every session, if you can do it. Okay, let's dive on in then. So we have a split party. Yay. I told you this would happen.
Halloween was last week, and this is unnecessarily spooky, I feel. So
I feel attacked.
Yeah.
It's
I like
I know
split
who's at
parties.
fault here.
I think no one's at fault here. We have a split party, and I approve, because I think split parties are awesome.
Technically, didn't we say it's a 4-way split because Enda's went to do research on a research team?
We could say that. We could say that.
Oh man.
For those of you who don't know, our wonderful friend Musashi, who is playing Enda's, is taking a break, just for reasons of his own. Okay, so let's reestablish where everyone is right now. So Sawin, you were playing this concert to distract the people of the neighborhood from the warehouse, to sort of keep people in line and like happy and distracted and all that good stuff. And you were doing such a good job. You were doing a great job until you rolled a nat 1 on a performance check. And
yeah, when more people were getting ready to leave because they started hearing that stuff was going down. So in a last-ditch effort, I decided I was going to throw in some acrobatics to my routine.
And no one cared because there was this horrendous sound coming from the Seas Embrace. Now, the Seas Embrace is a shipping company and also a company that builds ships as well. And, our players had received information that they might be involved in some shady stuff, maybe supporting Primarch, Magli, Blackice behind the scenes in some ways. So 3 of them went to check it out, while the 4th caused the distraction. Samhain was successful at the distraction for a while, and Kaz was a successful lookout for a while, while Thommas and Juniper headed inside. Now, Thommas and Juniper on the inside went into a secret back room and discovered that it was filled with animal cages. All sorts of animal cages, and all sorts of sizes and things like that. And Thommas discovered a pseudo-dragon, a purple pseudo-dragon that Thommas was called towards. And Juniper discovered a foxfolk who was being treated like an animal, but was not clearly an animal, because foxfolk are people, obviously.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Fox Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, I
no.
apologize.
We're sorry to everyone on Earth,
I'm
and
really sorry. I should not.
we'll be shooting ourselves into the sun immediately.
That's fine. I deserve
Okay.
that. Anyway, Juniper, in a state of eagerness and excitement, electrocuted all of the cages.
No trending, chat. No trending. Belay that.
Yikes.
And Juniper, in a moment of excited panic and urgency, fried a lock with their electrocution magic, only to have the lock melt. And also fry many of the animals, who started hootering and hollering, causing the distraction that Samhain's concert caused problems with. So we've got Thommas with the pseudo-dragon, we've got Juniper with the foxfolk, whose name is Blackberry. What was happening to Kaz? Well, Kaz outside met a lizard folk pirate whose name was Asma. That's A-S-M-A. It's a real name. Or it's a real fantasy name. No, it's a real name. A lizard folk pirate named Asma, who at first was like being kind of tough, but then kind of just said, "Hey, why don't you come inside? I'll give you a sandwich." And walked Kaz inside, and opened a secret door, and walked Kaz down into the darkness beneath the dock that we are at.
Yep.
So, Kaz, have you thought about what your next character is going to be?
Yeah, I have. I have.
So that's our that we've now established our fictional positioning. Thommas and Juniper, let's start with the 2 of you.
Yeah, let's.
Okay. First off, I'm sorry. Oh, second off, no, wait, I can't say that out loud. There are people out there, right? Someone just came in.
I
And
don't
they
know
went
that
downstairs,
you can
so
retcon that now.
Huh?
They're heading downstairs.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we can't see them.
No, Thomas saw
Wait,
them
weren't
head
we
downstairs.
hiding?
Yeah, you
Were
were
we
hiding.
hiding?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Okay.
You were
Okay,
hiding.
we're hiding.
And
Oh, crap.
you're in
Oh.
a room, and they're in the outside room. They didn't notice the broken down door. Now you've got the problem of the magical barrier between you and the outside world that Blackberry has pointed out to you. Yeah, so that's where you guys are. You've got animals in here. You've got a pseudo dragon, who's still in a cage at this point, by the way, not freed yet,
Mhm.
and
Slightly crispy.
slightly crisped, but not that
Smells weird.
I'm
and
sorry.
and then Juniper and Blackberry. Blackberry is now freed, and Blackberry's fur is like all out in all angles. You know, the
A lot
classic
of odors.
the classic
happening right now.
shocked fur. It's quite all right. I just glad to be out of the cage, honestly. Even if this room is kind of a cage, isn't it? I'm not really out of anything. People in their
Well, no.
cages.
I know, right?
I do not understand this.
Dicks. Anyways, what?
Thomas gestures to all the animals. The unhappy animal.
Look, I'm still figuring that stuff out. Illusion? Yeah, got it. Lightning? No.
Let's look for a key.
Okay. All right. So wait, but no, we can't leave, right? So what happens if I try to go to the door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the door is busted down. You guys broke down the door. And there's like this red line around the floor, painted into the floor, and there's these runic symbols along the ceiling, covering it. If you'd like to try and to go through, you can see what happens.
Can I read the runes? Since I have literally Eyes of the Rune Keeper,
I think that is in
there
fact
be runes.
exactly what you can do with runes. Yes, absolutely, you can read the runes. Do you have to do anything to do this, or is it just automatically
I
happen?
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's an invocation. I've never invoked before.
Mm-hmm. It would say under Eyes of the Rune Keeper, not under invocations, because invocations all work differently.
It literally says 5 words. You can read all writing.
Then this is not anything that you can spend a slot on. You can just read all writing.
Swag.
Excellent. Yeah. So these runes are in the arcane language, and they are the runes for. They basically say all matter cannot leave this room. Basically, is what it says. That would be a colloquial translation, but an accurate one.
Well, we've already established in canon that Fox Lives Matter, so I guess you two are stuck here.
Okay. All matter can't leave the room, is what you said.
Yes, I would relay that to my partner in crime.
I'm really sorry, by the way.
And Juniper, actually, as you look up, you also can read the runic writing because it's the runic writing that wizards use, right? So it's the same. So you speak this language as well.
Yeah, no, this is how I write my really crappy notes. Okay, so what if we destroyed them, like the runes?
It's worth a shot.
Do you, I mean.
And then what do we do with the animals? Do we leave them here?
We gotta let them go. Well, we gotta let them go, right?
So destroy the cages first? I think that destroying the runes might cause a lot of noise. I imagine that someone might come and investigate.
Yeah, good point.
What makes you think that?
Well, just that sometimes people come in and check up on us and feed us and things like that every several hours.
Have you ever
I thought they were you. I thought that's what you were.
Have you ever seen where anyone keeps some keys?
Wait, well, how did they leave?
Well, they have some sort of talisman or something. It glows as they walk through the thing.
Oh, god dang it.
I actually presumed that you were them.
No, definitely not.
Clearly.
I'm just looking at Thomas because clearly my decisions have been not so great.
No, please, by all means, if you have any thoughts.
I mean, I got a knife. I can score the runes with the knife and try to. I could kick it. My boots are cool.
Here. And he's going to be like, may I? And try to lift Juniper up to reach the runes.
Okay. Being lifted.
And you're gonna.
This is great.
And you're gonna score the runes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to just slash at the runes. With
no,
I can't do that yet. We were gonna unlock the cages first.
And the camera cuts to black, and comes up on Kaz.
Oh boy.
So Kaz and Asma are walking down these stairs, and Asma's just sort of chatting with you casually, and says, "Yeah, so it can be hard out here in the city for one of us. It's tough sometimes. Here." And she opens the door, and you see before you something that it kind of looks like a cafeteria. There's a bunch of humans and lizard folk sitting around. Some of them are chatting. They all got food. There's like a table in the back where there's some lunchman just scooping meals into plates for people. And it's all very nice and things like that. I'll remind Kaz, your disguise, as you established, was old human.
Yes.
So just a reminder for Strat that you are disguised as a old human. And so there you are in this room. And Asma says, "Yeah, why don't you why don't you get some food over there, and come join us. We'll chat. I want to hear all about you.
Oh, yes, gladly. I would love some food. And she goes and grabs a tray of food.
Yeah. So you come on over and join
Yeah.
them. And Asma says, so why are you living on the streets?
Well, couple failed businesses. Things just didn't end up well for me, and I ended up on the streets.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been my life for a while now.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I know how you feel. Ever since this accord's been signed, like, all these foreign businesses are opening up shops here, and it feels like it's hard for us good Chalestrans to get anything in, right? Make anything happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we can help you a little bit. We can't. I don't know if we can help you with your business yet, but it'll happen, right? In time, it'll happen. But you could help us out a little bit, and we can help you out a little bit, and we can make something happen. You're always welcome here for food, no matter what, though. Whether you say yes or no. I'll show you a street entrance that you can use, so you don't have to come through the Sea's Embrace.
Well, that's awfully kind of you. I'm interested. We can work something out. Seems appealing to me.
Nice. Yeah. Well, there's this guy.
This guy.
Yeah. He's a halfling fella.
Mm-hmm.
One of those Prian folk. But he's been working for the council, doing some business for them, and they rewarded him with like a house or something like that. Would you be willing to like go sleep on his steps and just sort of see if you pick up anything, see what sorts of people are coming through and by, who's there, and what they're doing?
Sounds easy enough. Where is this?
Yeah, and she'll tell you the address of a place. It's clearly like a nicer part of town,
Okay.
but not like so nice that it would be unreasonable for there to be a homeless person there. Yeah, he just came into it. Recently it was a gift from the council for services rendered, and she puts up quotation marks like whatever that means.
Okay. Do I have a timeline for this? You need it done soon?
Well, we don't know what's happening, right? So it may take a month or two before you find anything. But just hang out around there and see if you notice anything. See what's going
on. All right.
His name.
All right.
His name is Hubert Songshore.
Hubert Songshore.
Yeah.
Anything else you can tell me about this Hubert Songshore? Anything else I should be looking out for?
No, just let us know what sort of people he consorts with,
Okay.
And we can toss you some money for that, some gold pieces to stay up. And again, you can always come here for food.
Well, I think that deal is more than fair.
Yeah. Well, it's good to just have good, solid Chalestrans hanging out with us. It's important that we can take care of our own and take care of each other.
Yeah, I agree, and I really appreciate this hot meal, and but I do like to keep to my own for the most part. So if you don't mind, I would.
Oh yeah, here,
like
let me show you the other exit. And Asma stands up and starts walking you deeper into sort of this thing. And you see that there's like a shade, like a horrible lounge that's super awkward. And there's like a foosball table or the equivalent of it, that sort of stuff. And as you're walking through, I'm pretty sure this is the point that Juniper causes the alarm to start blaring loudly. So you just hear this wah, 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 and everyone, except for Sawin, hears this massive alarm. All the animals start freaking out and all that good stuff. And Asma sort of stops and says, hey, can you wait here? I gotta go see what the alarm's about.
Oh, fantasy Jesus.
Okay.
At least her death won't be in vain. She's left alone with
Have
her
I
dad.
seen the secret entrance? Have I gotten far enough to see that?
Yeah, in fact, actually, I think she'd even say, yeah, it's straight on through here. If you just head up, you'll see that this comes out in a sewer grate about 2 blocks.
Okay. Then when the alarm goes off,
Mhm.
I imagine Kaz just jumps and goes, "Oh shit, I'm out of here," and runs out.
Oh, yeah. I love it. So you're just dashing away. And I think because it's more dramatic, we're at that point now where it's like the end of your disguise is now like about to come undone. You know, so we've got that dramatic moment of the clock coming down. How fast can you get out of here? And Asma starts heading upstairs. And Juniper and Thommas, back to you guys. You hear, what's all this noise then? From someone. Heading... And, like, you hear probably heavy footsteps coming towards you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-hide and ready Eldritch Blast.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Roll stealth check again.
I'm gonna... Okay.
Honey, if you would please.
What are we rolling?
Stealth check for Thommas.
Stealth for me. Stealth, please.
It's down there. Okay.
It's always so, like, ominous because I hear the blip and then it takes,
Can
like,
I
another
help?
7 seconds to get back
How
to the
did
page
you
to
help?
see what we rolled.
Can I cast... can I burn a spell slot
Mhm.
and cast Silent Image of a door, like a whole door
Mhm.
in front of the doorway
Mhm.
that can block us?
Sure, yeah. So the guard's gonna come and he'll see the broken doorway that you guys broke, and then a door where the broken doorway is. Yeah,
We're
that's...
so goddamn good at this.
is that the desired effect?
No. Let's see.
I guess we would have had to be a little quicker on our feet or something.
Yeah, we would have had to be quick on our feet. Okay.
To be fair, you're not on your feet. I hoisted you.
I'm gonna, is it possible for me to cast the silent image as though it's a, like a person
Mhm.
running from the door towards the other door?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, absolutely. So you cast Silent Image of a person. Describe this person to me. Who are you making?
Okay, it's going to be the sneakiest person ever.
Mm.
Like, super sneaky, as sneaky as I can possibly think of a sneak thief would be.
Fucking bad.
No, it's going to be like a human with, like, really long, beautiful, lustrous hair, but they're wearing this, like, cool-looking black mask over their face,
Mhm.
and the mask kind of goes to a point, kind of like Plague Doctors, just a little bit, but
Yeah.
more fashionable.
Yeah, sure.
And they're
Fashionable
wearing
Plague Doctors.
all
It's a thing.
yes, they're wearing all black uniform with like 5 billion belts, like Kingdom Hearts level belts,
Okay.
almost.
So you're making
almost there.
someone...
You said fashion, then you
Like-
said 5 billion
Like
belts,
a
and those
mix-
are contradictory.
A mix between
thoughts.
Kingdom Hearts belts and Rob Liefeld pouches.
Oh
I'd say.
god, I love it. I love it.
Bulging
So
gold.
this is someone who's, like, by definition, going to be iconic, right?
I love
Yes.
I love Juniper's fashion sense for humans.
Yep.
Amazing.
I agree. Yeah, so this is like, so it's like they've got the pointed face like a fox, right? And they've got a million belts for things to carry, like I imagine Juniper would like. I love it, but it's all black. Okay, yeah, but they're not trying to stealth actually because they're a silent image, and you're trying to actually use them as a distraction, right?
Yeah. They're basically, it's as though they've like been found out and they run into the open towards the door.
Absolutely, yeah. So you hear the guard shout, "Hey, oi, who are ya? Who are ya? Where you going?" as your silent image like starts running through the door. I want Thomas. I want you to roll a perception check for me.
You roll it. Maybe you're better.
Nice. Yeah. So you see that there's this big hulking lizardborn who's carrying like a massive club in one hand. This is just like a bulking, huge person of a person, maybe 6'8", 6'9", and broad as all get out, not wiry at all. And he just starts thundering after this person. You notice that they have around their neck a necklace which has a rune that says safety on it around their neck, and it's glowing faintly blue. And so he starts charging after this imagined person. The person keeps running. Asma comes up the stairs and sees this person as well and starts chasing after them as well. Juniper, how fast is this person moving?
Like, not like the wind, but like she would imagine, like, I'd say, like damn, they're a good sprinter. That kind of fast running.
Perfect. Yeah. So they make it out the door, right? This person makes it out the door, and the guard guy's like, "Oi! Stop him! Stop him!" And Asma is like chasing after them as well. They get through the door. Where did your person go when they left through the door?
They're gonna just like take a hard left and disappear because they can't see them anymore.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah. So they go out the door and they look around, and Asma like is just sort of glancing around panically. Let's take a roll. And then says, "A splash! I saw a splash!" And goes and dives towards the water. That's what a natural 2 gets you guys.
Thank you, fish. Random fish.
And goes diving towards the water and tries to swim after this illusory person who is not there anymore. Now, we still have the problem if you guys are trapped in a room still with all these animals.
Are we trapped? Because the alarm went off, but we did cut the runes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you want to find out?
I would also say while this is happening, Kaz would be wanting to make her way back around to see if her friends are okay.
Yeah. I think it's a speed check for you more than anything else. So why don't you roll a Constitution saving throw? Because you have to go several blocks and then come back several blocks. 21. Nice. Yeah, no problem. So Kaz, you make it back to the front. And Samhain, maybe this is where Kaz rejoins you at this point. The sort of, there's all this noise coming from the sea's embrace, and like you can hear these animals hooting and hollering and all this stuff. And you can see that like there's a fair amount of people just sort of staring at it and wondering what's going on. People are like, it's coming from the side, and they see Asma come out and sort of look around panically. They don't see the illusion because the illusion just disappeared, right? But they see Asma come out panically, and then they see the big guard come out panically, and Asma just dives into the water after the splash. And you see that, and the rest of the people and like there's a bunch of people in the crowd going, "Hey, what's going on in there?" And the big guy turns and says, "Hey, none of your business." And that's Kaz and Samhain if you want to do something.
Okay, so I see Samhain by this point.
Is that okay, Samhain? I just put you there, but
so wasn't there still like a bunch, or at least some people where I was doing my concert, or have they all completely dispersed now?
I mean, there's like this massive thing going on, and it's like concerts are cool, but not when you get a nat 1.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see how many people were still left remaining, if it's gonna look weird if I pack up my shit.
It's not gonna look weird if you pack up your stuff. There's some old guy who's there, like, who's really enthusiastic about you, and, like, could go encores all night, but, that's it.
That's adorable, and I love that old man.
His name is Samson.
I love it. I'm going to ingrain his face into my memory.
Excellent. He is an elderly human.
Awesome. Love him. Okay.
Bald, missing several teeth. Talks like this.
I love him. Okay. Yeah. If I see Kaz, then I'm definitely packing up my stuff.
Yeah, and you see Kaz, and Kaz is like moving quickly towards where the crowd is going, which you would know is the sea's embrace.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'll try to catch up to Kaz, and like if I'm like by her, I'll just like touch her elbow to let her know I'm there and go, what's going on? What do we need to do?
I have no idea what is happening. Probably breathing hard, but alarm went off. I don't know if they're in trouble or not, but
Why do you smell disgusting?
okay,
No offense.
you know I have a sweating problem, so
No,
In the
I
sewers.
point it out.
I just mean your body odor smells like garbage, but I mean
I was wearing my hobo disguise, okay?
oh, okay.
I roll around in trash. But anyways, I don't know if the other two are in trouble or not. I mean, it sure seems like it, but I think it would also be kind of weird if we just went in front of all these people.
I can I have a couple of things that I can attempt to do. See if I can make another distraction and maybe get people's attention away from the building.
Yeah, so the consequence of that, I just want to put this in your ear, is that right now the crowd of people are serving as a admittedly minor distraction for the big guard out who's like out the side, right? And so like if you distract all the people, then he's just going to turn around and go back inside.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I'm just putting that in your mind.
Well, I have backup stuff. I do have Thunder Wave and I do have Disguise Self. So
yeah, they're just commoners. We don't really care about them anyway.
No, that's not. No, I would never destroy a life. I might destroy a little bit of property, but I'm not gonna harm anybody.
Fair enough.
To make a distraction. Property, yes. People, no. Not unless I have to.
What if we rile them up and then, I don't know.
Oh yeah. So
get them angry.
Hey, hang on. I don't think it would be wise if I continue to be myself at the moment. I'll be back. And you'll know I'm back when I say potato. And so Samhain leaves, like ducks down like a dark alleyway and casts Disguise Self.
Okay, Kaz puts her hands in her pocket and whistles.
Yeah, so you know what? This is gonna be really terrible, but I'm gonna make myself into a copy of that old man that was cheering really well.
Samson, the elderly human.
The elderly human.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll blow my spell slot. So this is gonna be good for an hour.
Nice.
And so I look like an elderly human. So Samhain like takes his before he casts the spell, Samhain like tucks his tail up in his shirt, so it's not just like hanging out and like nobody's gonna like touch it, because Disguise Self is just an illusion, right? You still have all your accoutrement that you're normally wearing. So he tucks his tail up to make sure that nobody runs into his tail, and he will cast that and look like an elderly human, and then he just walks up and goes, "Excuse me, dearie, do you have any potatoes?"
And wait, you're saying this to the guard?
No, I'm walking back up to Kaz, so she knows
got
what
it.
I look like.
Okay, sorry, I was gonna say.
I know that was the secret word, but are you actually asking me? Because I don't.
It's okay if you don't have any potatoes. It's fine.
Okay.
Is there a fire? And then, like, in a louder voice, fake Samson's gonna go, "Is there a fire at the Sea's Embrace?"
Oh my god, a fire!
Wait, but it's in the Sea's Embrace. You're like giving people a
It's nice knowing y'all.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay.
Trying to get people to like move away so you guys have room to come out.
Yeah. So let's roll a persuasion check. So let's roll a deception check. It's against a large group of people.
Yeah.
And part of it is trying to be like heard. I think this would typically be at disadvantage because of the number of people that you're trying to get on your side.
Okay.
But it's probably not that high a DC.
Okay. So that was a 10 for my first roll. Let's just see what my second roll is. Second roll was a 20, so it was a 10.
10 total?
10 total for the first. Yeah, that was my disadvantage roll.
Yeah, so a couple people start like noticing this and calling out and like, "Who? What if there is a fire? Could there be a fire? I don't see any smoke though." You know, it's like people are discussing the possibility, but no one's going crazy with it. Let's cut back to inside where we have Juniper and Thommas and Blackberry, and a bunch of caged animals who are squealing.
Right.
Thommas is going to take off a bracelet and toss it at the door.
Yeah, goes
see if
right
it makes
through.
it through.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, this is matter, right? So that's matter.
That's matter.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
It's not living matter.
No, but you know, that matters, right? It's matter.
All right.
So who's going first? Wait, we need to save everybody first. Hold on. And I'm going to go back to the cages, but kind of looking a little bit wary about that one you were looking at and being like,
What?
I don't know. You looked like you were eager to open that one.
Well,
I have a knife.
I'm not exactly sure what it is.
It cocks its head at you, all purple and small.
It spoke to me. It spoke to me in my head, and I'm not sure if that's normal for whatever type of creature it is. Has it attempted to communicate with you at all?
I'm going to look at it. And I'm going to think really hard. Be like, hey.
How you doing?
It rolls its eyes.
How you do? Yeah, I'm like, no, I ain't got nothing. Well, no, I wouldn't say it. No, there's nothing. Mm-mm, not a thing. You talk to it, huh? And I just kind of look over at Blackberry like, have you talked to it? Is that a thing? Okay, cat. Oh my god.
Lois, okay, these are shenanigans. I love you, but...
Okay, I think we can hear you again.
Can we go back to the screen to find out if we're centered?
We can hear you.
Okay.
No,
yeah, we're centered.
Well, I don't know that until we can see the individual panels.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. All set up and good. Didn't lose anything.
Okay.
That was all in character.
Yeah. 100%. I
Yeah.
don't know if we're centered until panels.
Hannah. Oh, well, no, he wouldn't have that idea. I was going to check the floor to see if there's any loose boards or anything. But no, okay. No, he wouldn't have the same cognitive connection that I made just then.
Well, I would hold up a knife and be like,
all right. That's a little hasty.
No, but do you think we could use the knife to unlock anything? Do you know how to unlock things with knives? I'm just going to look over at Blackberry, just brandishing a knife at him.
I beg your pardon. Are you asking if I'm a thief?
No, I'm just asking you if you know how to open anything with knives.
Well, I guarantee I have never had any experience of the sort.
It is relevant to the situation. I'm sure she didn't mean anything by it.
No, I mean, I could know, but I don't. Was that, no, I didn't mean anything.
It's all right. We're all equally useless here.
We could pick up the cage. Could walk out with it.
We can't pick up every cage for all these animals.
We can come back for them.
They may burn them if they know that someone realizes they're here.
I mean, would they really burn animals?
No, they would destroy them.
I wouldn't put anything past these despicable people. And he kicks a cage.
Does the cage have an animal in it?
Yes, I think one that's already fried though.
I feel horrible.
All right, Thommas is going to say, all right, give me a minute.
don't know if we have
He's
one.
gonna. I know. He's gonna do a little pacey, kind of like back and forth, kind of mutter a little bit to himself. He's trying to figure something out. He's going to pray, or attempt to pray over the situation, very expediently, knowing they don't have much time. But he's going to say, I believe it's. I'm so bad at remembering the name of this god because I feel like it's Tamden, but then every time I think of that, I'm like, no, that's the character from the Dragon Age Origins Dalish origin story, and then I'm like, no, it's Tamlin. Wait, so what? It just for some reason it's just like.
Yeah, well, I
always
have the
confuse
information
myself.
on the tip of my tongue as well.
Tarima.
I've written it down about 7 different places over the course of these games.
It's not. Is it Tarina? No, it's.
Yeah.
On. Is it?
Yes, because the way I remember this god's name is because I read the Broken Earth trilogy.
That's
and
right.
The town's name is Tarimo.
Okay, got it. Yes, you are.
So that's how
right.
I've been remembering it.
Hold on. Yes, I have all the information here. I'm just very bad at. I am also bad at remembering this stuff, which is a bad sign. But nonetheless, it works. Okay, yeah. So it's Tarina.
It's. Sorry, one more time.
Tarino.
Torino?
Is that right? That doesn't sound
As
right.
in Gran Torino?
Tarina.
Tarina.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
boy.
it not?
Well,
Let's double check.
regardless,
Hold
he's
on.
going to.
I'm gonna look this up one more time. Pardon me. I can't help it. I need to look this up. I apologize.
No, it's good.
I should-
In the meantime,
This is the problem of the new world.
he's going to pray just briefly, like, I know you're here. I know you're with me. I know you haven't abandoned me, and I'm striving so hard to find anything that might indicate what you want me to do with this. If I can't see you and your majesty condemning these animals to slavery, help me find a way, please.
And the pseudo dragon looks at you, and you hear sort of an exasperated voice inside your head. Why don't you just try knocking?
He turns slowly to face the pseudo dragon, kind of brings his hand slowly down from in front of his face. I beg your pardon.
Knocking. Knock knock.
I'm still going mad. He takes his hand and knocks on the cage.
No, not like that.
Tentatively.
You have to do it with your will, as well as your hand.
I'm so confused. I have no idea what's happening. He's just talking to this thing.
Thomas is going to run with the assumption that this is his god speaking through the dragon in order to try to retain some semblance of understanding of the situation and to try to stay focused on the task at hand, because he literally just prayed about it and now this is happening, ergo. He says, all right, little one. He tentatively he braces his hands against the bars that make up the door of the cage, and he closes his eyes and he concentrates and he pulls.
And all of the doors, all of the cages for all of the animals just swing open. And now there's sort of a madhouse of animals that are now free and start like shoving and pushing and running towards the door and all this like crazy madcap stuff. the pseudo dragon just sort of flies and lands on your shoulder. It's a little bit heavy on your shoulder, honestly. Probably could do with losing a couple pounds, but it lands on your shoulder and says, "Well, shouldn't we leave now?"
What?
Thomas turns to the foxes and says, as the youth say, let's beat cheeks.
I don't think that's what they say.
Let's go.
That's not what we say, right?
Go.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
So the animals are obviously a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, with the dragon on his shoulder, is like hugging the wall and kind of checking around the door to look for an opening.
So the door you entered is open, and there's this large, massive lizard folk guy, again, 6'8", 6'9", broad of shoulder, carrying a club, and he's like shouting at a bunch of people like, "Go home! Head back to your houses! None to see here!" And then like as he says that, like a horse just runs him over, and then like more animals start like tearing out of this thing. But it's not like there's not enough animals that it'll just like be clear cover for you. You've got to come up with a way that you can use this as cover, or perhaps they will spot that some people left with the animals.
Oh, do I have anything?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Well, let me see.
Sorry, I do not mean to be snippy. Incidentally, Thomas still looks like a nymphish young woman with pale hair and dress. And also has kind of like frosty armor on, because it was established in the last episode that as soon as someone magic missiled a hole in the wall, he cast armor of Agathis. Just poured out a cup's worth of water from his water skin and took care of that situation. So, okay.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so what's the how do you distract everything so you can get out? Or do you not care? Like if this disguise is blown, do you not care, Thomas? Or do you want to go somewhere
he's only
else?
got the two.
Yeah, or do you want to go somewhere else? Right? You have the possibility of you could explore other aspects of this place as well. Like obviously you found this secret.
I was going to say, is that the only door?
the only way out?
Absolutely not. You could back towards the front. There was sort of the offices in the front, and there's a door on that side of the building as well that has has a stairway going up in it as well. And you could also turn and head towards the dock and jump into the water.
He turns to the foxes and says, "Do either of you know how to swim?"
It's a good day to die. Let's do it.
All right, let's
Can
go
you
for the
swim?
docks.
Okay, let's swim.
Okay. So you guys turn and you run to the water and you jump into the water.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
After the foxes go, I mean, does it look like anyone else notices us?
No, it's the wrong direction. They wouldn't be able to. Plus, there's all these animals.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah, he goes too. He jumps in the water.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the three of you jump into the water. Roll a perception check.
What does the dragon do?
It groans and says, "Here we go." That's it. Nothing more. So you jump in to the water. Roll a perception check. Thank you. Yeah. There is a weird thing in the water in these parts, Juniper, that you notice. There is you saw a boat that was also a submersible on your way in, or Sawin saw this as he was scouting. But you jump in and you see that they're actually building these things underwater. There's like a large pocket of air. It's like a bubble of air in the water, and inside there's this floating, half-completed, we would call it a submarine.
Oh my gosh.
But it's not done, and there's like a couple of them in various parts, and you realize that like if you put them together, they might be one thing, or they might be three different ones. Who knows? But but you guys start swimming. Does everyone has a swim speed of some sort, or Thomas definitely does.
I don't know what my
Thomas
swim
does
speed would
because
be, honestly.
Celestrin. If Thomas sees the foxes struggling, he wants to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll an athletics check, Thomas, to see how much you can help them?
Oh, good.
Can
I roll an animal handling check instead?
They are not animals. They are not animals.
Excuse you.
Well, okay, but was that the foxes rolling the athletics check?
Yeah,
no, that was you.
That was you to see if you could help them. You're fine.
But are they even struggling? Like, is that even needed?
I don't think I'm struggling.
No,
I think
they're
I'm just
fine.
slow.
They're fine. They're just slow. It's just if you had succeeded,
okay.
they'd be moving faster. That's it. By the way, since I couldn't get the darn window to work, I don't know why I couldn't get the window to work, but for whatever reason I can get the window to work, so you guys can't see the dice rolls. But that was a 0. In case you were curious what a 0 looks like, that was a 0. Chat, that was a 0. So, but you guys are swimming and you're going fine. The foxes are a little slow. I don't think there's a consequence here. Normally, for going slow, there would be a consequence of, like, someone spots you and you've got to figure out a way to escape them. But I think the only person who could spot you is well distracted by, a bunch of wild animals escaping from captivity in his face and all that good stuff. On the other hand, I think you guys do have the possibility of running into Asthma.
I was gonna say, she was not the sea creature that I was worried about. Thomas knows like this area pretty well, and he would know the likelihood of there being sharks around the docks. I am absolutely terrified and want him to get out of the water as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So what's the plan? Are you just gonna swim like a little bit north and then get onto the shore or get onto the beach, or are you gonna swim a little bit south and get onto one of the other docks, or what's the plan?
We should probably put some distance between us and the boats. Thomas is going to gesture kind of away from it, like around the side of the docks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll follow you. You're the water guy.
Am I?
Yeah, you're the water
Apparently,
guy.
God knows.
You can swim, can't you? Says a voice in your head. Okay. Yeah.
He glances sidelong at this dragon.
Yeah, it's gotten off your shoulder in the water and is like paddling and flapping its wings simultaneously to get the same distance as you.
Okay, I am gonna shout that that's the most adorable thing I've seen in my goddamn life.
Don't! Oh my god.
I'm not gonna shout. I'm just gonna say it. That's the most adorable thing I've seen in my goddamn life.
Under the water, is this what you say?
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So Thomas leads the way, and you get out. Samhain and Kaz, you see all these animals tearing out of this thing. No one for a second like really bought the fire, but a menagerie fleeing, this is kind of surprising and unusual, and people are freaking out. Someone tries to capture the horse, but then there's like a gorilla coming behind, just galumphing through. It's it's quite intense. There's a lot of animals, and they're coming out in a lot of different forms. Some small ones, some big ones. I think there's a little chicken that's half fried that's sort of and like walks into a wall twice and then starts pecking the ground looking for food, but it's pecking the wood of the dock and all that stuff. And
can I pick up hey?
Of course you can pick up hey. Why not? Yeah. Fair enough. And that's you guys. I think that's the end of that scene. Thomas and Juniper make it out. Samhain and Kaz are, help distract and guide everything. I think, Kaz, you notice Asthma getting out of the water completely soaked, and wearing, leather armor that's completely soaked is gross. But that's what they're doing. So, yeah, that's what's happening.
Is it more or less gross if you have skin or scales underneath the leather armor?
I think it's gross both ways, but I would probably say skin makes it grosser. But I might be wrong. Okay. I don't know. I've never seen a wet lizard folk before.
Wearing leather armor.
Wearing leather armor. I imagine that both are gross to some extent or another. Okay, and scene.
Oh, perception check. Is anything... Oh, wait. No, I guess the perception that was
Yeah,
Should
no,
even
I think
have
we're
to
good.
stand, huh?
Yeah, we're
I just
good.
tend to look for cool stuff while we're in the water, shells, etc.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Make a perception check.
I'll do this one, thank you very much.
Sorry, darling.
Watch it be worse.
Nope, that's
Oh,
technically
pretty
better.
bad.
Yeah, there's been a lot of industry of late, and so like the water in this part of the city is just it's a little bit. There's a lot more junk than there is like cool natural stuff. Like there's a lot of like broken boards from ships and like child's toys that have been tossed overboard. I think we see like a waterlogged doll in the ocean as you're swimming back and things like that. And you don't really see a lot of sea creatures or like cute, cool shells or whatnot. It's more. It's more broad than that, right? It's more junk, people tossing their garbage into the ocean and things like that is what's going on here.
Oh, charming. Life imitates art, imitates life, imitates art.
Okay. Okay. That, I think, is the end of that heist then. Whether that's the last heist with the season brace, I don't know, but it is the end of that heist with the season brace. Everyone has escaped.
They've gone maybe at the tavern, he's wringing out his hair, his eyeliner is running.
And
he's down a bracelet.
Blackberry's just
Plus a
constantly shaking themselves out, just constantly, and just getting everyone around them wet. And,
I know foxfolk aren't animals. So adorable.
People can be adorable. I'm very adorable, I'll have you know. Excellent. Yeah. So, reading themselves out and saying, and Blackberry turns to Juniper and says, "I don't know what's wrong with your friend there, but thank you for saving me."
Oh, yeah. No worries. Sorry about the whole electrocution thing and accidentally implying that you're a thief or something.
No, it's fine. Anything to get out of there. I'm quite grateful. I might pick up some lock-picking tools just in case something like this might happen again, you know?
Yeah, that might be something you need to learn. I think that's a skill that anybody should have for sure.
Yes,
considering
I agree.
There are people keeping people in cages. What the fuck?
Right.
What were they doing? Why did they put you in there?
Right. It's so grotesque and horrible. I have no idea what they were planning on doing with me. I just knew that like they were very happy. I was just minding my business in the woods in Sunera. I was looking for pretty trees, if you must know, and nice flowers and things of that sort. Just sort of wandering around doing my thing when a bunch of people just sort of put me in a net. And like, sure, I gnawed my way out of the net, but by the time I gnawed my way out of the net, they had put me in a cage. And then I was in a cage. And like people were laughing and celebrating and like, ooh, we caught one. What is with that? What is with catching one? I'm not someone to be caught. I am a person. Just horrible. Foxfolkenizing.
Yeah, seriously, but no, like we caught one? Like, are they doing that to more than just you?
I don't know. I certainly hope not. I would hope no one was going through this indignity. But they were saying that I was like a special delivery for someone or something like that, but I didn't catch the name.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And how long were you in there?
Oh, well, I was shipped here from Sunera, so I was in that cage for almost 3 weeks now. And I was in that building for the past 2 days.
Okay. So you're a long way from home.
Yes. Chalestra, I presume? The city of Racy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never thought I'd see it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, I've only been here for a little while myself, but there's some good cafes around here.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have anywhere to go, does he? I look over at you, Thomas, because you're like the rich person that I know.
Oh yeah, very rich. Extremely wealthy. He's well, since the conversation is opening up to him, he's going to ask Blackberry, I don't suppose, do you have any family you could write to? Do you have anyone you could reach out to?
Oh, certainly. But, honestly, there's a part of me that's been curious about travel. I might hang here around Chalester for a little while, especially if there's a way that I can, find the people that did this to me and this barbarous place. Do you have trials here? Or a court system?
Well, darling, that's something we're trying to rectify. I don't know if there exists justice for your plight at the moment, but we are a group of concerned citizens who are working towards a better local government, and we were actually in the middle of an expedition to that effect when we stumbled across you.
I mean, it's more just like a really enthusiastic book club, really.
Sure.
Yes. Well, I guess I'll try to find a place to stay.
I feel really bad. We should, I mean, like, I don't really have a second room where I am.
Wait, I don't believe we have ever discussed. Where do you stay?
I'm staying in, I just have like a little, like, upstairs apartment somewhere. It's just, I mean, it's really small, but I mean, you can stay there for a few days if you'd like to. It's just, well, not much going on.
I don't suppose there's a need for that necessarily. I mean, I've known you were staying in such small constraints. I mean, Samhain has his rooms as well. I believe Kazhan is staying at one of the local temples. It slips my mind which. I have a bit of room with me. If one or both of you are you sleeping in a closet?
No, it's not a closet. It's nice. It's a lot bigger than the dorms back at the tower, honestly. Not that I had a dorm back at the tower, but still, it would have been cool.
That is the saddest thing I've ever
Sad. It was
a while. It would have been cool if I'd had a dorm at the place I was going to school.
Look, I couldn't stay in the dorms because I could only be an elf for an hour at a time. Like, how weird would that be for me to, like, de-elf and then go up to the dorms and just, like, be a foxfolk no, that wasn't going to happen.
You can only be an elf for an hour at a time.
Yeah, I know.
And no one knew.
Nope.
No one knew that you were that you were a foxfolk.
Well, I'm still me when I'm an elf. I mean, right? You too, right? Yeah, like, it's still you.
But you were going to this college, and for an hour at a time, I'm having trouble understanding. Are you getting this? He turns to the dragon.
Well, I'm not getting that, honestly. But yeah, like, we don't have to talk about that. But no, I mean, it's a pretty nice apartment. It's okay. It's above, like, it's like, it's fine. There's not really much going on in there.
Yes. Well, I've never really stayed in the city before, so I'm excited to see how people live.
Yeah, it's really fun. And, there's like a cafe right down the street that you can go to. And, the temples are always open and they usually have something going on. So that's always good. And there's some kind of festival happening soon, apparently. So, things suck, but they could not suck eventually.
Well, thank you very much for the rescue.
I'd like to sleep on my couch.
No worries.
Well, thank you very much for the rescue. I really do appreciate it.
Would you like to sleep on my couch?
I guess, or I don't really know what a couch is.
It's like a long pallet, but it's not a bed. You sit on it. It's social.
Ah, so I would lie down. I would curl up on the sitting thing.
Yeah, I know. That confused me too.
It's comfier than it sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
He wrings out his hair some more.
Yeah. I would do that. That sounds nice. Okay. Yes. Absolutely.
3 rows of potatoes, and what are you two having?
Oh, haha.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll close the scene there. So you guys get to do that. Sawin and Kazhan. No one comes out that you recognize from the thing. You see all the animals going crazy, and the people are like weirded out by this, and concerned and confused, and yeah. That's sort of their ending. Yeah, Sawin.
Yeah. So if we see all these animals like come out of the sea's embrace, uh, Sawin's just gonna go illegal animal trade, like sell it, illegal trafficking, and
Yeah.
then he'll like tug on Kaz and like, we should go.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
I thought this was a reputable business, and then we'll just like leave.
Of course, yeah.
This is
Absolutely.
terrible. Let's go, old man.
Yeah.
I love this. This is beautiful.
You guys see the art I have for Samson?
Oh my god, is that
Oh,
really what
where?
I look like right now?
Yep.
Oh my
I
god.
blew it up on the page. I couldn't.
Absolutely.
And he's a human?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think his ears are
Close
that
enough.
Oh,
but,
boy.
yeah, whatever.
I was mainly looking at that tusk.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, not everyone has access to affordable orthodontics.
My
Oh.
God. Yeah, what an assumption.
What an
Oh,
elitist
no.
asshole I am. Oh.
Okay. And I think with that, we'll take our break. And when we come back, we'll see what's next in the adventures of the assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice. Everyone stick tuned. We'll be back in... What did we do last time? 6 minutes? Did that work for everyone? 6 minutes good?
Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah.
6 minutes. So 6:31. Take care, everyone. live. Hey, everyone, welcome back to the Sagas of the Shimmering Seas, the Assassination of Primarch, Magli, Blackice, all good things. After a relatively quasi-successful heist at the Seas Embrace, the shipping company, our intrepid adventurers return to their respective homes, or each other's homes, or whatever, and come hang out with each other. And get a good night's full rest and all that good stuff. Does anyone have anything in particular they want to accomplish this evening before they go to bed, or anything like that? Anything meaningful, I should say? I'll presume you feed yourselves and all that good stuff. Which
Let everyone else go first, because I've got quite a few things.
Oh.
So I want to escort Kaz back to the temple before
Yeah,
he walks himself to the busted barnacle.
Cool.
I think Kaz would probably have. I mean, I don't know if we all meet up afterwards to check in with each other.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to say that you all double check to make sure that everyone's okay, and then agree that you're gonna have your meeting the next day, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable thing to say happens.
Yeah.
Then,
I think, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go.
I was gonna say that I think in that vein, Juniper's just gonna after everybody meets up, just kind of be like, hey, I'm like, maybe go up to Samhain and be like, I'm a little worried about Thommas, just a little. I think we should just check in on him a little bit every now and then, make sure he's not talking to things.
Talk to myself all the time.
Well, like they talk back. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk him home, if that's okay. Just to make sure everything's okay.
Are you doing this like within earshot of Thommas?
No, I'm whispering it.
If so, he's giving you such a look.
I pulled Samhain aside very seriously.
Oh, okay.
Very seriously.
Very
suggestion. Just kind of whispered it. And, just like, I just think something's going on with that, the dragon thing. I think, maybe. He's got a lot going on.
The dragon thing?
Have we seen the dragon?
I mean, it's with him.
Is it still okay? Yeah,
It's
I didn't.
chilling.
Know.
It's on Thomas's
Okay,
shoulder.
Yeah.
It's curled up. It's comfortable on Thomas's shoulder.
Incidentally, I don't know if this is what you had in mind, Matt, but I kind of had pictured yet to be named dragon as kind of a wyvern style dragon, because my brain first saw the word pseudo dragon and went, oh cool, like half a dragon.
Yeah, totally fine with me. I love it.
Okay.
So at this moment, in the middle of the night, Samhain, a friend of yours, someone that you've known for a while, bumps into you, and pulls you aside, and just sort of grabs your shoulder. It's a lizard-born friend of yours, and someone that you've hung out with. Let's establish a little bit about that backstory for a second. How did you guys meet? How do the two of you guys know each other?
Well, first off, hi.
Everyone, sorry, hi. Everyone, hi. This is Marcus. Marcus is Tiss on on the Thursday game, and all that good stuff.
It's so cool to say hey to you after watching y'all's game, and now you're here.
Oh, you're muted.
You are muted, Tom.
Honey!
Have I been muted this whole time? Oh.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, he's okay.
There you are. So everyone, this is Marcus. It's not Endez, it's Marcus, or playing Tiss, so it should say Tiss down there, but that's okay. And Tiss and Samhain are friends. Let's establish a little bit about that. How are you guys friends? How long have you guys known each other?
Yeah, I was going to say, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do we want to go a long time, or not too long? Or?
Well, let's see. Tiss is a local Chelestran. Samhain, you moved here recently, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so probably not that long. Probably, but long enough to be close friends.
Like we could say like recently, within maybe the past 2 years. How long ago did the accident happen?
The accident
Or
is
the
now
incident.
the incident, the explosion at the Grand Accord is now about 6 months past, right? I think is what we're establishing. But you may have been here before that time, living in and out, traveling. You're
we
traveling.
could say that Samhain moved here, or has like been here for like 2 years, and then that would be enough time.
And Tis has also is a traveling person as well. Like was on ships for a long time and all that.
Merchant
good stuff.
ships. Yeah.
Merchant ships, yeah. So traveling around the world. So I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you guys know each other?
I would have been spending most of my time at the docks or at the Temple of Yemis. If I don't know if we've talked about if there are any.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Samhain plays music at a bar near the docks. Samhain lives in the bar doing music.
Live in the bar.
Yeah.
I rent a
You rent a
I
room.
work for room and board at the bar.
Yeah. What
Called the
Maybe
Busty.
I made my way
Busted
to the bar at some
Barnacle.
point.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Nice.
This is very new. I don't know as
Yeah.
much as I could about them yet.
That's okay. Cool. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Tis. What if the bar owner is like a sibling of yours or something like that?
Yeah.
Or a relative of some sort. That would make sense.
Yeah. Older, younger, or like?
Yeah, let's say an older. I don't know. How much do we establish about the owner of the Busted Barnacle? I know they paid you.
They are a human.
Okay, so that's...
They were a sailor.
Mhm.
Then they've retired and now they own the Busted Barnacle.
Right.
I think that's what we established.
So let's say
I
actually
don't
an
remember
old
their
captain
name
of
off
yours.
the top of my head.
Let's
Yeah, I like
let's
that
say
a
an
lot,
old
actually.
captain of yours. So
Yeah.
Tis, your old captain retired and opened a bar called the Busted Barnacle,
I'm so proud.
where Samhain works. And
So proud.
like for whatever reason, the two of you have become close, talking about whatever sorts of stuff you guys talk about. What sorts of stuff do you guys talk about? Let's establish that. What would you chat about?
So I don't know too much about Samhain, but I know about the tarot card thing.
Mhm.
So maybe like a loose connection would be like Tis might know a little bit about the Zodiac. Does the Zodiac come into play with tarot? I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Yes.
But okay, cool.
I made a whole tarot document. I'll have to share it.
Cool,
with
yeah.
you, or Matt will have to share it with you. But I took time to set that up. So yes, the tarot or the Zodiac does come into play with the tarot cards. So.
Does the Zodiac feature in constellations at all? Because I feel like Tis would have a big. Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome.
All 13 constellations. The Zodiac is the way they understand the Zodiac is sort of the opposite of the way that we understand the Zodiac. Our Zodiac is whatever constellation is behind the Earth, so we can't see it right now, or behind the Sun, so we can't see it right now. Is the month you're in? Sorry, behind the Sun. For this, it's whichever the rate of movement is whichever constellation the smallest moon is based in. Is where the Zodiac is. So the small moon is based in. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what are you thinking with that, Tis?
So I think maybe Tis through navigating by constellations while out at sea would like tangentially get into the Zodiac, and that might be like a common ground to go off on.
Yeah. So Tis has been hard on work lately, hard to get work lately a little bit, and you have decided though to get hired by an organization called Obscura, yes, the Order of something.
Yeah, I forgot it too.
I have it here.
I read it a couple times, but
it's purposefully what it is. It's purposefully what it is. That sounds appropriate. You've been ordered by the Order of Bygone Studies for curators, underappreciated relicologists, and archivists. And so you're going to be leaving town soon.
Yes.
And I think you wanted to check in with your friend Samhain and say goodbye. But I think you wanted to get a card reading from Samhain before you left.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah?
I think that might be a habitual thing, like every time I see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to interrupt our regularly scheduled programming and make this happen at this moment. If
Sorry.
that's okay to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of reading am I doing for you today, Tis?
How do they work? They're like daily or
Yeah, so I could do a whole bunch of different ones. Depends on how you're feeling. Hang on a second. I could do general, spiritual, growth, career might be good because you just got hired on by Obscura. Yeah, whatever you want, I can do it.
career would be good. I like spiritual, but I
Career?
think I'm gonna go with career. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Shooting forward or brick by brick?
Is it just my choice?
Yeah, your choice.
Brick by brick.
Okay. So this will be understanding your current trajectory in your career and assessing the long-term picture. All right. Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone because I don't actually have a real tarot deck in my hand as of yet, so.
That's okay.
All right.
So why don't you tell us what you do? So Tis finds you, we can say, at the Busted Barnacle, maybe after you drop off Kaz. Is that reasonable this evening?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
And tells you, and Tis, what do you tell someone? Like let's narrate the story around it too.
How much do I know about the job at this point?
You know what it is, right?
I know where I'm going.
Yeah, you've seen the contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, it finally happened. I got a job. I'm shipping off to Brian. I'm working.
That's great. That's great news. I'm glad to hear that. It was about time work came your way.
It was about time.
Yeah. A little long overdue. Do you want to come up to my room?
Sure.
It'll be a little bit quieter there.
Yeah, I think as you say that, some sailor just smashes another sailor's cup, and the two cups, they just spill all their ale all over the place, and it's just gross.
And cleaner. Quieter and cleaner.
It's bound to be.
Yeah, so we'll go up to the room. Sawa doesn't really have a whole lot of space in this particular room, but choices are the bed or the writing desk.
on top of the writing desk? Is there a chair?
Yeah, no, there is a chair. There is a chair. There's enough room for the bed, a writing desk, a chair, and then a small dresser, and then that's basically it. And someone's had to get kind of crafty with storage space in here.
Tis would probably post up next, sit cross-legged on the ground next to the desk, because they wouldn't want to take the chair.
Okay. So I am presuming that you want a final reading before you ship off. So
Yes.
It'll probably be a bit before you're back home, correct?
Do we know how long the job is? Right.
All right. Do you know where your post is?
Brian.
Where in Brian?
Oh, Tis maybe knows that. But I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, what you would know is that earthquakes recently have unveiled a hidden tomb, a lost tomb of Brian.
That makes sense. The subject of our campaign is where I'm going.
Yeah, the lost tomb of Echo
I didn't know if you had. No, I didn't know if there was a specific city next to where the tomb.
No, it's sort of in the middle of the desert. It's in the Western Expanse. It's not far from the Lookout Oracle, the Oracle Lookout Tower, but it's definitely not near any major cities anymore. Brighton is an ancient place that has a lot of history. They had to travel past the Battle of the Black Sand location to get there, which was a city at one point, but has been since destroyed, and there's nothing left. It's been buried by generations of sand.
All right. So I've drawn. Yeah. So if Tis is sitting on the floor, then Samhain will take a seat at the writing desk and pull out his cards, give them a good shuffle, and then set up the reading. Let's see. So the first. Oh, this would have been helpful if I had pulled this up while I was talking. It's my cheat sheet for the tarot that I reskinned. Oh, here. I can do this. I have the technology. Matt, I don't have the stream up, but if you have, like, chat up.
I have chat up.
I've got... That's the document that everybody can look at. You can give all of chat access to it. I have nothing in this document.
Sorry, where'd you post it?
Roll20.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I was...
So if you could, like, copy it and...
Yeah.
Oh, I should have changed the permissions on it.
Chat, if you're interested in checking this thing, should I wait before I post it until you're done checking the permissions?
Yeah, hang on a second, because that's
Never
gonna
mind,
let
chat.
people edit. That's
Never mind, chat. You're not allowed to mess with our stuff.
Okay. Alright, I think I fixed the permissions on it. Sorry. Okay, so the first card I drew was the tower, and it was facing away from Samhain. So in our document, the tower is a Tarrasque. So the Tarrasque is facing away from Samhain. So this card can mean one of three things. It could be disaster avoided, delaying disaster, or fear of suffering. So someone's gonna sit for a moment looking at it and goes, well, I mean, you've avoided disaster by getting a job finally, so
That is
I
true.
don't think that this card is as bad as it appears at the outset. But just be sure to keep your wits about you while you're on the job.
So for those of you that don't know, I just want to step in for a second and talk about what a Tarrasque is. Tarrasque is sort of an infamous monster in the Dungeons & Dragons pantheon. It is the largest monster, and for a while it was the highest challenge rating monster as well. It's a massive monster that's like a spirit of the earth, and it lies dormant beneath the earth forever. And then occasionally will erupt from it and eat things. It actually is immortal. There's no way to actually kill it. If you try to kill it, and actually just falls into the earth to lie dormant for another 10,000 years before it starts to work on destroying the earth. Some people see it as a reckoning or a cataclysm. Others see it in other ways. But I just thought I'd put that in there for a second. Back to you, Samhain.
Sounds good. Let's see. So the next card Samhain pulls is Judgment. And it's facing him. And this is actually an image of the Sphinx. So this is a card that represents reflection, reckoning, and an inner voice. So Judgment indicates the cusp of rebirth. In order to achieve that, you must look back upon your deeds and come to an honest evaluation of yourself. This leads to the awakening that signals a new way of life. So, that means the little voice in your head is occasionally right. And that it's always good to take a moment and be introspective.
If they're facing you, are they inverted, or is that right side up?
So if they face the reader, that's like towards them, and it's not reversed. If it was facing away from the reader, then that's a reversed card because it's upside down for me.
Was the Tarrasque upside down, or
the Tarrasque was upside down?
Okay.
The Sphinx was facing me, so it was upside right. It was not reversed.
writing this down. Okay.
All right. The next one is facing me again. So this was the Three of Pentacles. So it symbolizes teamwork, collaboration, and building. So this is probably indicative of the team that you'll be working with on your new job. So several people of vastly varying skills and beliefs work together to join in a greater cause. Teamwork helps to create something new, and progress is swift. The next card is Death, and it's reversed. So the image that's on the Death card is an image of a rock, as in the big mythological bird of Thor,
Yes.
and not
Not a rock.
not
A rock.
That was my first thought.
not an igneous rock, but
Which happens to be Tiss's birth sign, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So death reversed symbolizes a fear of change, holding on, or stagnation. So Sawan thinks for a moment, goes, well, this also makes a whole lot of sense because you're getting ready to begin work again. So it was a cycle that you had started and ended, and now you're beginning it again. And that's really what the death card symbolizes. It's just a cycle or a process.
A new cycle or process.
Yes. So rarely does it actually represent death in a physical sense. It's better akin to like a metamorphosis, right? So you start as a caterpillar and go through those stages, and then you end up becoming like a moth or a butterfly. But as we know, change can be hard, and there's always going to be a little bit of resistance to that change. And then you can't always live in the past, but you must embrace new beginnings and understand that this, that only like a phoenix can rise from its ashes. So.
Those bode well.
Yeah, it's not a bad hand all in all. The next card Samhain drew is the Wheel of Fortune. And that is an image of a Behir, and it's facing Samhain. Again, more change, more cycles, greater forces that are outside of our control are at work here. The same forces that govern changing of the seasons or the rising and setting of the sun is also the master of luck and fate of the individuals. So, again, what goes up must come down. What starts will end and will begin again. And the last card in the hand is the Five of Swords. It symbolizes unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and perhaps occasionally sneakiness. So victory has been achieved, though it can come with a subtle consequence. By taking from your opponents the ability to fight back in some form or fashion, you may have also created resentment. Your actions have isolated you from those who could be helpful later on. I don't think you've done that so far because you haven't started the job yet, but this would be something to keep in mind. Don't bite
But
the
I might
hand
make enemies.
and all that. But yeah, all in all, that's a...
Nothing too concerning.
Yeah, no, that's a very optimistic reading.
Oh, what do I owe you?
Nothing.
What do I owe you?
Nothing.
What do you charge usually?
Your price is your friendship, my friend.
Yeah. Do I have gold, Matt?
Sure.
Like an arbitrary amount or something.
Sure.
I'm not gonna try to fleece. Like, yeah. I give them a deed to a castle and a few magic weapons, 1 magic weapon per person.
Yeah, works.
Is 100 gold a lot? Yeah.
Yes, it
is
is.
50 reasonable?
I mean, that's a lot of gold. It's nice to get. That would be like a huge gift to someone. It'd be like giving someone like, think of a gold piece is like $5.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's quite a bit then.
Yeah. So that'd be like giving them $500 for a reading.
Yeah. Well, maybe I like I don't pay sometimes. Sometimes I insist.
Yeah.
And I'm about to leave, so I'm gonna like line his pockets a little more than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So 30, 40.
Yeah. Perfect. Do it.
Yeah. Cool.
You just got an advance on this job, probably. You know.
Yeah.
You're feeling flush.
And I can take that out of my like current gold if you want.
Works for me. Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
So yeah, I'll give you a little coin purse of 40 gold.
Well, that's very kind of you. Out of character, very kind of you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, so
like very generous of you.
I like that sort of thing, like being able to take advantage of the situation enough to help.
So I am going to jump in here for a second and just say to Jess, I have no idea how Samhain does it, but your reading is more precise and accurate than anyone at this table is aware of other than me.
Some of that stuff, some of it reads very much as like paladin stuff.
Yeah,
so
some of it reads very much like paladin stuff.
That's too funny.
Yep.
Like I said, it'd be a lot different if I had like an actual like card spread, but like I'm using an app on my phone, and it seems to be doing pretty good so far with readings and games. So I mean,
yeah,
they've been cool.
I'll take it.
Working for me. So that's Tiss's reading. Tiss and Samhain. Do you have anything else that you want to say to each other?
I guess safe travels then.
Would it be okay if I wrote? I don't have a ton of people here to touch base with.
No, I'm going to forbid you from writing for
me. I don't know how long we'll be at sea, or do I? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll send. Yeah, I'll send one as soon as I can.
Yeah, you send one, and then I'll know where to send my letter to. It's not like you're not going to be able to get it to me here.
All right. Tiss will stand up and dust off.
Yeah, and Samhain will clasp your hand and then like pull you in for a hug, and then like we'll walk you out. We'll offer to buy you a drink or have drinks before you actually leave to go to your ship.
I honestly haven't decided if Tiss is like pious or like.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. It'll be whatever Tiss wants to do as like a final goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm about to leave. Go off for a while. I'll have a brew.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Wonderful.
Tiss has one ale and nurses it all night.
Beautiful.
Just the one.
Beautiful. Well, for those of you who just saw that, welcome to our backdoor side pilot, as they call it in the TV world, for The Hidden Tomb of Akarut, which stars many cool people, one of them, which is Tiss. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us as this little teaser.
Thank you.
I thought that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was great.
All that good stuff.
That was super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thursday, 11 a.m. PST.
Yes, Thursdays, 11 a.m. PST, and all that good stuff. And come join us as we delve deeper into the dungeon. Again, I'm going to stress there is just magic time stuff that happens sometimes so that I can make things line up as I feel the need to make them line up. It's called DM magic. Ooh. I am a time wizard. Ooh.
Oh my.
and that's totally fine by me. I'm totally down for that. So that's just going to be the nature of it. But we've just started a letter writing campaign between Samhain and Tis.
Which means there's going to be some strongly worded letters, especially to the manager and several congressmen.
I approve. And so Tis, you are always welcome to so you guys can write letters to each other, and we'll see how we display that. We might read some of them in game. We'll probably set up a website and post some of them there and all that good stuff, and have some sort of back and forth and all that good stuff. And awesome. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Marcus.
Peace out. Back to the chat.
Yeah.
Bye, Marcus.
Bye.
Bye. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Okay.
Oh, I hope you heard that before he just.
He did. He's also watching the
Did you
show.
say it was a pleasure reading you?
Pleasure meeting you.
Wait, is
Like
that
out
Mia?
of character? That was
Oh.
me out of character saying pleasure meeting you.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, it was great.
Excellent.
That was so cool. I love it. I love it when
Our
songs
first
are
special
so-
guest. Also, yeah, that's like freakishly accurate based on what we've seen so far.
Yes. And there are things that are even more accurate than you could possibly know. And that's totally
We'll
awesome.
find it out later.
Yep, you will. I'm excited for you to find it out later. Okay, so Samhain, your night plans that evening. Obviously, you walked Kazhan back to the temple, and then walked back to your place and bumped into your friend, Tis.
Mhm.
Kaz, what about you? What are you doing at the temple?
I think rather than going into the temple for long, I would assume it's kind of like later at night by this point. She goes inside and as quietly as she can, strips off her armor, kind of puts on her some nice blue robes that she took with her, and leaves to try and find like a high point, like underneath like the open sky, so she could pray for a while, but not on temple grounds, because that might be kind of weird.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I think the highest point in the city is like a series of sort of mountain peaks. We're a coastal town. There's a lot of hills and mountains, but there's a place that's relatively close to you. That's it's not like the highest point in the city, but it's definitely like a higher point.
Right.
But I think it would be the place that Kaz would go, because it's open to the sky. It's a little like park area, with red rocks all over it, and then cleverly called Red Rock Bluff.
Then I think she goes there. She goes there with her amulet, which is her holy symbol, and she takes that with her and goes and sits down, like kind of in a kneeling position, and puts her hands down, palm up facing the sky, and just begins to pray. I think probably she says something like, after just getting into the zone for a bit, I know I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm sorry. Really. To be honest, I just felt like you would maybe disapprove of how I just left everyone behind. Kind of abandoned my duty, but I've found a new cause, and I believe it's a worthy one, and I need to be strong to keep other people safe, to keep my friends safe. And then she pauses. Well, I don't know if we're all friends, but they're the best I have right now, and they've had my back, and they all seem really cool. And she rambles for a while about this topic, and then eventually, anyways, I just wanted to ask if you would please grant me the strength to fulfill this new purpose to the best of my ability. It's important. It may not be affecting our people now, but surely it will later. And I think there's a really long pause, and she eventually says, "You know what? I think what's most important to me right now is justice. And that's my choice. And I don't know what that means to you, but that is what I choose." And she just continues meditating on that.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that.
I think she probably will end up getting back maybe like a lot later, spending a while under the sky.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice night. There's fog in the lower parts of the city, but up on the hill where you are, you can see above it. And at times, the whole city beneath you is just shrouded in fog. And so it's like this mountain is a vessel upon which you can sail through the clouds. Beautiful. Juniper, let's check in with you.
Well, I think I'm gonna just try to like quietly shadow Thomas as he walks home, just because I'm worried. But then halfway through, I'm gonna halfway through that, I'm gonna remember like, I am soaking wet. This is miserable. I'm sure he's fine, and that the dragon he's talking to is going to end up eating half of his arm in the middle of the night because he has someone who's going to be with him, probably. He'll be okay. And I basically just kind of like peel off and have a sort of a quiet night. Honestly, go back to the apartment and kind of look around it a little bit and be like, well, it's not that small. Like, it's not what he was implying anyways. I was fine. It wasn't sad. And I say this alone to my empty room. And then I just kind of prop my hands on my paws on my hips and be like, yeah, that's right. Serves you right. And
I think a neighbor starts pounding a broom from the bottom. Stop shouting up there! It's late! Decent people are asleep! Thunk, thunk.
Well, good thing I'm not decent people. I'm sorry, I am actually. And then I go back to the bed, which is surrounded by notes, just piles and piles and piles of notes. And I assume like, well, you know what? I need to do better at this because I screwed up hardcore when I fried some of those animals in the cages and almost ruined everything. And so I start kind of gathering my notes together and trying to get them into some semblance of order and try to remember, like, I think I was writing a spell in this one, or, you know, like practicing one or something like that. And I just kind of like, you know how you do when suddenly you look around yourself and you go, oh man, I need to get my life in gear. And then you just like hardcore clean for like 3 hours and then you go to bed and not much has really happened, but you feel better about it.
Yes, I do know that feeling.
Yeah, that exact feeling. That happens.
You're speaking your DM's language. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah, I love that. Thomas, you said you have a series of things you want to do.
Yeah, so if Blackberry is going with him, then obviously he wants to be a good host. He wants to get Blackberry settled. A lot of this involves ignoring the little purple dragon on his shoulder and in his company. But he makes up the couch, and he makes him some not kombucha. I don't think you can just make that on the fly. But he steeps him some local tea, and I don't know, puts a little honey in it because bedtime, and tries to get him settled down because he's obviously had a harrowing experience. he shows him where the bathroom is. Thomas has a nice bathroom. Well, he does.
Yeah, sure.
There's little soaps in the shape of seashells that he gets at the marketplace, and they smell like clean linen and stuff. Like everybody's grandmother has in their soap dishes that you're never actually supposed to use. But yeah, he makes sure that Blackberry gets situated, and tells him, make yourself at home while you're staying here. Don't worry about a thing. Read anything you like. Just
So,
sort of,
you live inside this box?
Yes.
Interesting.
I think you'll find that a great many people choose to live inside boxes. And you've got this many people all together as part of an ecosystem and environment. Everyone likes to have their space, and sometimes the only way to manage that is by carving out a little space individually for each person or each family.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Thanks for the tea. This is really good.
I don't know, I'm glad you like it. It has jasmine infused. Help yourself. The larder's over there. There's an ice box. There's not too much in it right now, but there's some berries. There's some oysters from the other night. Hopefully should be enough to tide you over. There's some potatoes. Got back from the tavern.
Of course.
Just make yourself at home and let me know if you need anything. You've had quite the experience.
Yes, well, thank you. And I'll look for a place to stay soon. Like tomorrow, I'll look for some place. It might take me. I don't know how this place works, but it might take me a couple days before I can find a. He sort of looks around. What do you call this?
Well, this is a flat.
Flat. Like the word sounds weird to her mouth. Like flat. Might take a look for a couple days before I can find a flat, but I will.
Well, don't worry about it. We'll make sure that you have a place to stay in the meantime. One doesn't expect you to completely assimilate into an entirely new world overnight. So don't worry about that. We're not about to turn you out onto the street.
Well, thank you. And I think he looks at the bed that you've made up and doesn't really know what to do with it. So he sort of stands on it and then curls into curls into a little
if he has to walk in circles a few times,
yep.
Thomas won't be offended.
Yep, that's what he does. He walks in circles a few times and then curls up and is like a little circle on top of your pillow that you've given her. Sorry, I've confused Blackberry's gender 7 times. Did we establish that she was female?
I thought Blackberry was a guy, but I could be wrong.
I think he might be a guy. I think that's why I've been confusing his gender. I'm like, I think he's a girl, is what I've been saying to myself multiple times. And that is a very fast way to confuse his gender. Okay, Blackberry is now a guy. That is now canonic. Blackberry is male. I apologize, everyone. For any inconsistencies that may have happened until this point.
While he was preparing, the tea and everything, he was taking a few things out of said icebox. I imagine it's kind of a non-American setup where people actually have a very small place for food storage, because just the idea that I'm having of this world is that maybe food prep is more of a thing. Maybe there aren't as many leftovers because there's not these huge portions that we're used to. Everything is kind of cooked meal for meal, and you're not expected to have this huge storage area. This is completely irrelevant to the story we're telling.
Yeah, but people also we've established that we have sort of a mid-Renaissance sort of tech level, broadly, and let's see, what do we have? But we've also established that this is a very fish dominant society in Chalestra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it wouldn't be uncommon for people to like catch a fish and store it in a cold box for a while and then portion it out as they go. So yeah, absolutely, you would have a cold box.
Okay, so yeah, there's the little one. So he's kind of talking to the dragon as he was doing that, just being like, I'm not sure what you eat either. I suppose we'll learn as we go. He kind of just like,
do you have a name?
Leaves the icebox ajar. I don't know. He's probably going to ask him, like, what is your name, little one?
No, the dragon says to you, do you have a name?
Do I have a name?
For me, Thomas.
Oh, wait. He pauses and kind of looks out the window at the ocean and looks back at the dragon.
I'm going to be hanging out for a while.
How do you... I'm beginning to believe that it wasn't a coincidence to have stumbled upon you at all. How do you know my name?
You introduced yourself to Blackberry over there. Maybe I just overheard it.
Maybe you did.
Flaps up and lands on like a counter in your place and sort of looks eye to eye with you. Look, this is going to be a lot easier if you just like, I don't know, accept some things at face value. Hi, I'm here to help you. I'm going to make your life easier.
I don't know why, but I believe you.
Good.
Where do you come from? Where did they find you? Where did they capture you? There's so much that you could tell us about the way these people are working.
Well, I was living in the jungle, you see, far to the east of here, when some, I don't know what you'd call them, intrepid adventurer types, like you and your friends, sort of, they, like, you know, set up a trap for me and arranged for me to be captured and then sent me over here. And on my way, I was on this boat, you know, and I was thinking, gosh, this sucks. This sucks a lot. And, well, someone just sort of called out and said, hey, you. And I looked and realized that it was a psionic calling, because I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff. You know, I can hear things in my mind. I'm good at the whole psionic thing. And,
sorry, you said a psionic.
That's what it sounded like to me. I mean, it was a psionic call.
Is that common enough in society that Thomas would know what that is?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, why don't you roll a history check?
Why don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do scroll very slowly.
No worries. Nice. Yeah, you would, so that's a 19. You would absolutely know about psionics being a thing from Abarak, of all places. Like, that's how people from Abarak communicate. It's not their only form of communication, obviously, but they have developed psionic communication beneath the earth, which is kind of cool.
All right. Can I do an insight check to see if this little dragon is telling the truth? Because this story seems awfully similar to the story that Blackberry told.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Roll an insight check. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, reading a pseudo-dragon's facial expressions and also reading the tone of someone sarcastic and psionic is hard to do. But, you know, it's not... Maybe they were captured at the same time as part of the same expedition. Who knows?
Sure.
And so the pseudo-dragon just says, yeah, so, I don't know, this voice, it's just sort of reached out to me and said, hey, there's going to be this human guy, and this human guy is going to rescue you. And I want you to hang out with that human guy and help him, keep his secrets, keep what he has to do together. Just all in all, help him out, and I'll make sure that that happens.
I don't suppose this voice gave you any indication of what it was or where it was coming from?
Nope. Couldn't even really tell what gender it was. Not that you can ever really tell, but you know.
And this happened while you were at sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had a clear view of it from my cage.
He's going to turn back to the view of the sea from his window. Lois does not respect my backstory. She's doing something incredibly rude. If you hear any ambient noise, I apologize for that.
No worries. It's a cat stream secretly.
Apparently, we can't stream without a cat.
That's what most of the audience is here for anyway.
He's going to look out at the ocean through the window. And, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate.
I've been there.
And he's going to say, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I
imagine that, like, at this moment, our as of yet unnamed pseudo dragon is like tearing things apart in your apartment.
He left the icebox open intentionally to try to figure out what it was going to go for.
It went straight for I don't know. Do you have any salmon in there?
Probably he has some fish with like some citrus and herbs on it.
Absolutely. So he goes and he grabs some fish and immediately starts eating the fish, just hungrily munching through it. And then, like, he finds, like, a box of grain and eats the box part of it, not the grain, but just, like, is chewing on the corner of the box.
Doesn't need that much fiber. Okay. Thomas is going to say under his breath, well, thank you for your answer. I will do my utmost to learn what it is you want me to learn from this. And he turns back to the pseudo dragon and he's like, no one's really ever you've never had a name before.
I mean, I've had a name, but it's for like pseudo dragons. It's not really like something like the way we communicate, like things aren't hard to say. You know, that would be like hard for you to say. I mean, I don't know. Here, and my pseudo dragon name is like Ballastric Naxagara.
Bless you.
No, that's the name, Ballastric Naxagara.
Thomas thinks it's funny that the dragon is fluent in sarcasm but can't take it. Yeah. He's going to kind of regard him, and I don't know. He's going to say, "Well, what do you do? What do you like to do? What are you good at?"
Well, I can fly.
Show off.
Starts flying around the apartment. Lands on your shoulder. I don't know. Can keep an eye out for you. Keep a lookout. I'm pretty good at distracting people if you need someone distracted.
You're certainly quick.
Darn straight.
Quicksilver. What about Mercury?
Mercury? I like
As
it.
in the element, just for clarification for the chat, or like the material, because obviously that's not a pantheon that we have in
That is very true, yeah. Absolutely. Mercury. I like it. I like it.
Like Quicksilver. And he tosses an oyster in the air.
Yeah. Flies up, catches the oyster in its mouth. Is it still shelled?
No, it was de-shelled. He's
yeah.
He's a good host.
Just checking. Yeah, hops up, grabs this thing, swallows it immediately. Yummy.
Aww.
Well, I can make up a bed for you too, I suppose.
I'll be fine.
Not to be too cliche, but I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I could see that happening. No bed for me, though. I'll just curl up.
Well, suit yourself. And he's going to take his own tea and go out on the veranda and just kind of grab a chair and look out over the ocean and meditate for a while.
Yeah, the dragon lands on your shoulder and stares out with you.
Oh.
Oh my god. I'm getting like an old man and his cat feels.
Except it's a dragon.
Yeah, well. An old man and his fantasy cat.
I love it.
So, like, how long do you stare out into the ocean?
Oh, probably about another 20 minutes or so before he's gonna go in.
So, like, about 15 minutes into this, the dragon, Mercury, says, so is this just what you do? Stare into the ocean?
Sometimes I like to clear my mind when you have a lot of things that aren't making sense all at once, and we're trying to make order of disorderly thoughts. It can, I find it soothing. We'll have to go down to the shore sometime. It'll be lovely. I tend to do some exercises, just help and all that. But as the sun rises, it can be quite peaceful, and I don't know. I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay, boss. Whatever you say.
Oh, enough of that.
What?
Nothing, I suppose.
Okay, boss.
Your boss now.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
And he's gonna check on Blackberry, see if he's still asleep, put out the candles, and call it a night.
Yeah. When you wake up in the morning, Blackberry has moved from the pillow out
Stolen
into the
everything.
No. No, moved out to the veranda to sleep outside.
Aww.
Okay.
Well, I can't blame him. The morning breeze is lovely around here. Humidity's perfect. Balmy 72 degrees.
Oh god.
Okay. So that's everyone's night, unless anyone has anything else that they feel they needed to do last night.
No.
Excellent. Beautiful. So you guys wake up in the morning and you guys decide to convene. Are you convening at the Busted Barnacle or at the Soulwood Tavern?
Wait, what? Where are we meeting?
Yeah, Soulwood Tavern or Busted Barnacle. Those are sort of the two locations we've established.
Probably.
The Soulwood Tavern.
Excellent. I like it. So you guys make it to the rich part of town, the Soulwood Tavern, sort of the diplomat side of things and all that good stuff to sort of reconvene and compare notes and all that good stuff. Let's see. I had something I was going to say. There's a newspaper article out in the morning that you guys notice. I didn't type it up because I didn't know what you guys were going to do.
Yeah,
But,
we didn't accomplish our mission at all.
It involves a herd of animals escaping from the sea's embrace.
Oh yeah, it did.
And investigations into what was going on there at the sea's embrace. So there you guys go. So you guys make it back to the Soulwood Tavern and are in the back room where you guys can secretly chat without fear of being overheard and all that good stuff.
Sawin would have bought a copy of the paper to bring in and go, that was some shit, huh?
let's put this up on the wall.
I love it.
If it's okay.
The organization can't say we accomplished nothing.
Yeah. If I could just ask something real quick. Before all this happens, is there a way for Juniper to contact anyone back home other than through letters, or is it just like there's no direct line?
If you have magic that could do it, you would have magic that can do it, but there is not a direct line to there's not like a direct line besides letters, but you absolutely can write letters and send letters.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm actually going to write one and show it to you eventually. But just rest assured that there was a very, very loud, very panicky one that was just sent this morning. And that Juniper is a little bit quieter than usual, and her dress is a little bit more modest and heavier. And tail is not showing. But it looks a little bit bulkier than usual, and she's looking incredibly awkward. But she's like, "Oh yeah, that happened." So, anyways, just to let y'all know.
For those of you in chat who don't know what's happened, when Juniper learns to cast higher level spells, as is true of all folk, Juniper gains extra tails.
And she did not know that fact about foxfolk before, because she doesn't really know that many foxfolk at all. And this is, man, if you thought puberty was bad.
Do foxfolk go through puberty, or is this it?
I have no idea.
Puberty.
This is magical puberty. I like it. Excellent. So you're wearing sort of a thicker dress or whatever, so that you can hide your tails beneath them. Okay, yeah, I like it. Cool, excellent. So there you guys are, ready to discuss the success, the failure, last night's mission, what happened, how we could go about doing it better in the future, how we could go about utilizing whatever it is that we learned to accomplish whatever we need to accomplish.
This wasn't really a failure, it was a learning opportunity.
Juniper's just gonna sink into her chair just a few inches.
Yeah, so what happened?
Well, you know, he found a dragon.
Well, before that, we panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, my concert wasn't good enough to keep everybody there.
I'm sure your concert was marvelous. It's just a few magic missiles are a hard act to beat, but you know.
Oh God, that's what you did. That was that noise.
No, that's what we did. I think what's important to remember is that we succeed or fail as a group. And last night was a mixed bag, as it were.
I mean, we rescued a person who was, like, you know, trapped in a cage, and, you know, we found out about the, you know, the underwater machines. Wait, did I tell you guys about the underwater machines?
What underwater machines?
Oh.
Are you talking about
my perception roll was for shit.
Yeah, I guess. Honestly, Juniper's never heard of that kind of thing whatsoever, I don't think. Like, I don't think she's had a reason to know about that.
Absolutely.
I've only seen one.
I mean, it was...
But they're building more?
Yeah, a ton of them. Or 3 or more, or... It was... Yeah, there was either one really big one or several small ones. And it looked kind of like they had, like, a dome in the water where there was air where they could build it. And it looks like that's what they're really doing. Like, I don't know what else they're doing. Like, you know, keeping people in cages, I guess.
People in cages? We only saw animals come out.
Oh, yeah, there's this guy, Blackberry.
Is Blackberry with us? Like, I feel like we would have invited him to go to the tavern at least, maybe if not the back room.
Sure, that's possible. Blackberry could be in the tavern.
If you guys want to ask him questions, I guess. But yeah, no, they were keeping people in cages, and they were keeping the dragon in the cage too. The dragon that he has now, which is definitely more important than any magic missiles or shocking arrests that might have conceivably happened. Also, what happened to you? And I'm just gonna look over at Kaz.
Well, you know, I was doing just fine until Asthma. You know, we saw her that last time. Lizard folk, kind of mean, kind of a jerk. But I was in my hobo disguise, my very good and smelly hobo disguise. So obviously she bought it, and she punched me in the face. And
she
so
did
I punched her. She punched me in the face real hard, so I punched her back, and I guess that was the right thing to do.
Good go.
Because she gave me a job. Yeah, so I went downstairs because you were both in there. they wanted me to go and spy on this halfling, Hubert Songshore. Apparently he's doing business with the council, and he's got this new house that they gave him for services rendered. So I'll probably do that at some point. I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, then the alarm went off and I ran, and then a bunch of animals came out. So that's what I know.
You have to say that again, sorry.
Oh, was I muted?
Yeah, because Lois had a freak out. Anyways, yeah.
At least it wasn't an incredible pun. Thomas says, wait, you're really going to spy on this man?
Yeah, I mean, they're interested in this person. I think it'd be valuable information.
Just really quickly, when they said council, do we know if that would automatically have connotations that were allied with or against Magli Blackice?
So the council, the ruling council, is all people who are high up. They're probably divided, right? They're kind of like our version of the Senate. But Magli is the Primarch of the council. So he's the one who gets the final say. So any given person on the council might be for or against any given policy. So no, there's no guarantee. But Magli Blackice is in control of the majority, like is the leader of sort of the minority party right now. But he's in charge because of dumb election laws. I'm quite comfortable saying that.
So he could or could not be responsible for giving this guy a house? Like a McMansion? Is that what we're getting at? It's plausible.
You have no clue. No, there's no reason that you would have any suspicion on either side. All you know is that there is some sort of organization that is operating out underneath the Seas Embrace, that has recruited an alternate personality of Kaz's to spy on someone who is doing work for the council.
And trafficking
Randall
animals and people.
Sorry, what'd you say, Jess? I actually got...
Oh, I was saying, and also trafficking people and animals.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very true.
Foxfolk associate told us that he was in Sunera, where he lives, when he was captured. This little fellow mentions a jungle of some sort, but he's being a shady little so-and-so. And he gives
not
that.
shady.
Oh, hush. And he gives him another oyster.
He eats it happily.
He's very cute. Does he have a name? And like Samhain will go over and like try to give the pseudo dragon like chin scritches.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it preens under that. It just is like super happy. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
We've landed on Mercury.
And I think Samhain, you hear in your head, just a little lower.
Oh my god.
So Samhain will yank his hand back and be like, oh, this must be, and then Samhain will look at Juniper. I get it now.
Hey,
and then
I was enjoying that.
And then Samhain will go back to scratching it. It's like, I get it now.
Yeah.
I understand why you thought he was talking to himself, but he wasn't.
Oh. Well, then why wasn't he talking to me?
Maybe
It's
he doesn't
okay.
like you yet.
It's all right. He's a little judgmental. Don't take it personally.
And Thomas, you hear in your head, you know, on a good day, I'd hunt foxes.
Oh goodness.
Thomas looks at him like scaldingly, like, this is a friend. She's very dear. She's a sweetheart. She's a little lost. That's all right. A little trigger happy.
Yeah. And the dragon, the pseudo dragon, just turns towards Juniper and like grins broadly, showing teeth.
Great. Great.
That's all right. It's sometimes you damage someone for 5 points. Of...
Those 2 points. Those 2 points. Those 2 points. Thank you. And not that we're judging damage by points,
Yeah,
but you know
that would be nonsensical.
And I only have 8. No, sorry.
I mean, what kind of a system of measurement would that even be? My God.
2 points for an arm, 3 points for a torso. No, sorry.
Oh god.
Sorry. D&D. It makes us think about the world in weird ways. Here, cure wounds. I'll regrow back your hand.
Oh jeez.
Sorry. I apologize, everyone. Excellent. I love it. Actually, I don't apologize. I was just having fun. That's fine. Okay. So,
Well, okay, that was day 4 or 5 that we decided to embark on that venture.
Yeah, that was like the night of day 4, so it's today's day 5.
I mean, I think we learned enough, right?
Well, we didn't. We were supposed to recover something. Weren't we?
Well, books, but I mean, we found out that they were keeping people and things in cages, or creatures in cages, excuse me. Present
Also-
company excluded.
Nods appropriately. Flushes its wings out.
Like, there might be a problem now because they're doing an official investigation into it. So, like, how would we be able to investigate anymore?
Maybe we should present what information we have. Maybe give them an update.
It sounds as though Kaz has an inn.
That's true.
There's also that. I was gonna do that sometime, one of these nights. Maybe tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should possibly observe how many guards they have reinforcing the place as opposed to the last few nights. I can't imagine it would be the same number.
Also, you know, what they plan to do with that one council member.
Sorry? Oh, do you mean the halfling?
The halfling, yeah.
That was working for the council.
Right, yeah.
What do they want to do? I have no idea. They just wanted information on what sort of people he was with. But yeah, I do have an inn. They showed me a secret entrance to their cafeteria, but it was full at night. So if everyone wants to go get food, I could get some food and bring it out. I don't know.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Did they have cookies and potatoes?
No,
Potato cookies.
they
Ew.
didn't. It wasn't very good. So, what should we do?
Yeah, so you're in a position, you have some information, but certainly not all the information that you were hoping to get. But you know, that's not the worst thing, right? Sometimes you can report and say, hey, look, we got this much, we didn't get this other thing that we were hoping to, but maybe we've got these other avenues that we could explore. Like, you don't have to, it's not exactly failure, right? It's definitely like a partial success, right? And
I feel like knowing that they were at least trafficking like creatures, that's could be why the books appear off, because I mean that would be all of under the table stuff, or that's maybe how they're labeling whatever unit of measurement they were doing, like the black market stuff that you had mentioned previously. I've forgotten like the term for it, but we could definitely now go, okay, well they had like X amount of creatures in these cages, and like if that matches up with
some of the numbers,
like the most recent ledger that other people have access to, then that can kind of like confirm, like, granted we didn't take a whole hell of a lot out of the warehouse, but we know we have an inn and we have that information.
Yeah, so are you saying that you want to compare the sort of the animals that you saw with maybe their estimated costs with like the ledger? To see what is that the plan?
Yes.
Or okay. Yeah. Why don't you
If
roll
we
an
have
intelligence?
access to the ledger, then I think that would be something that's worth doing.
Yeah, and the machines that they were building too, submarines.
Yeah, so we've got a like 3-ish different plot lines here to follow potentially as a group. We've got the submarine plot line. We've got the Hubert Songshore, who's working for the council plotline, halfling working for the council plotline. And then we've got sort of this animal smuggling plotline, all going on here at the Sea's Embrace.
My notes are a little sparse regarding what did the books look like that we were looking for originally?
Yeah, I mean, originally you were sort of looking for like a lot of sort of off the book companies or mob companies have 2 copies of their books, one that's like totally all the above board stuff, and then a second one that's like a copy of their books that's all the below board stuff. And experts in the Order of the Ocean, of which you guys are members, were saying that the books weren't adding up. You haven't seen their books, but they were presuming that there was a secret ledger, and there was sort of a hope that you would be able to find something like that. Or some sort of evidence of that sort of thing, which maybe you did with the animals. You know, you don't know that they were illegally there, I guess, at this point, although they were certainly illegally stored, and that would be pretty horrifying to store animals that way. So that's probably illegal. But does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can Thomas try to remember what the office itself looked like? Were there any rafters? Were there boards on the floor, or was it like thatching, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it was
were there compartments in the desk?
Yeah. So the desk definitely had drawers in it, and it was wooden planked floors that were pretty well put together, but were definitely like part of the dock a little bit. So not like a good foundation underneath parts of where you were, just like rock were underneath where you were. And now you would know from comparing notes with Kaz that like there's underground stuff right underneath where this place was, that was where Kaz's met the group, the cafeteria, and the lounge of these people, whoever they are, hanging out downstairs beneath the Sea's Embrace. So layout wise, there wouldn't be like a secret room below it or anything like that, and there's no room for a secret room on any of the other sides. Like you would definitely know it's not a secret room. But there might be like room for a ledger. That's not a secret room. That's a secret compartment. So absolutely, that's possible that could have been there.
Okay, gotcha.
But that tells you something right there. Like you need a secret room to store treasure, jewels, and gold, right? So I don't know. Says something.
Well, if we want to learn more, we'll have to go fast because they're investigating.
True.
Surely not all hours of the day and night, though.
Probably be more on alert
Probably more at nighttime.
at night now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So maybe it's
Thomas
on that.
turns to sorry.
Oh, go for it, please.
Thomas turns to Mercury and says, "How good are you at not being seen?"
And Mercury smiles widely. Very good.
How would everyone feel about getting just close enough to the area to I don't know how far away you have to be to communicate about something like this. But if we could just get close enough to get you in and have a bit of a look around and pop back out.
I could do that. Be nice if there was like a open window or something for me to fly through.
I'd be able to help out in that department.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, Kaz could. And then Samhain could maybe do distraction a little bit with some more tarot readings or something. And we can just kind of like hang out there to make sure everything's chill.
Okay. So the plan is to head back to the Sea's Embrace and figure out a way to open up a window and get Mercury to fly through the window and to go look for the secret ledger somewhere in the room.
Just for a look about, to see if there's anything worth pursuing.
Yeah. So if you do this during the day, you're going to need to figure out whoever's in that room and figure out a way to get them out of that room, and then get Mercury into the room. So those are sort of the...
Oh, open from the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why don't I just use Mage Hand?
If it were unlocked, I suppose that... Wait. Perhaps I could try the trick with the, Wait.
What
Okay,
trick?
this is what I'm thinking about. Something happened in the room with the caged animals. I was able to somehow open the doors, and it seems like it was a phenomenal moment, but I'm not sure I could do it again. Perhaps with one door or one window, I might be able to. I'm not sure how close I need to get. And I'm looking at the stats for Nock right now because that's not something that, like I said, I was going to have him take Flock of Familiars instead.
Yeah.
But
Well,
so now I'm looking at the info.
Well, you can go either way. We haven't decided yet.
Sometimes when God closes a door, he opens a lot
Allows
of
you to
pages.
knock. Invites you to knock. Okay. Well, I think I'll give
Okay,
you guys...
range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level.
Nice.
Nice.
So that's like 130
That's a
feet. for you
good
now.
range.
That's huge. Yeah, so I think that's I think we'll stop the episode there. It's slightly early, but I think we'll call it quits there with the planning of the second assault on
It's a mini heist.
the mini
It's a
heist.
pseudo-dragon sized
Absolutely.
heist.
Oh boy.
I love it. It's a pseudo-dragon sized heist. I totally 100% approve. So yeah, so I think that, but I think that's what we'll pick up with do any planning or thinking about what you want to do next time. I'd like to start right with the heist, but any prep work you have to do, obviously we have to do as well. So just think about anything you want to accomplish, and we'll start, we'll flash back to anything that you guys did as prep, and then do the heist itself right away. I'm going to spoil tomorrow's newspaper for you guys a day early. The Seas Embrace is claiming that some weird person wearing a cone on their face smuggled hundreds of animals into their place
Oh my
so
god.
that they would
Okay.
break out.
Okay.
So specifically so that, oh great. Well, now we know that they own the newspapers.
Yep.
Excellent.
Idiots.
So,
I
there
want-
you go.
I want to I want to have that be a recurring illusion of hers, I think.
I love it. Yeah. You'll start seeing that have ramifications as we go on. I like it. I think it's a great one. I think it's a great one. I love it. I think it'll be great ramifications.
This is
Oh
like-
Jesus.
This is our
Vogue
version.
Spectre.
Yeah, this is our version of the Dread Pirate Robert.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right?
god.
I love it.
Like,
A Holocaust cloak covered in belts.
I
That would
love
be
it.
something.
yeah.
Covered in belts. Way too many belts. How many pieces of pants are you wearing? You know?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Okay, so let's do our check-in. Did you feel like you got to know a character better than you did before? Sarah.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
A couple NPCs and also Juniper and also, well,
I think Juniper is the best one here.
yeah,
'Cause
probably.
it's gotta be PCs.
I feel bad. We've been working in twos this whole time.
I don't think
Well,
that's a
to
horrible
make
thing.
it
it up.
We'll swap it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I
We
don't
gotta
think
mix
that's a
it
horrible
up.
thing. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. We're working in twos, but the twos will reconfigure sometimes. You'll mix it up, right? There'll be a reason for Thomas and Kaz to go on a mission. There'll be a reason for Thomas and Samhain to go on a mission, right? Well, trust me, it'll get mixed up a lot. I understand that we are working in twos a little bit, but it's actually nice, right? We'll see the dynamics shift and how the dynamics shift when
Sure.
people enter different
Mhm.
context. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it'll be
absolutely. And then Juniper, I assume you'd say Thomas because Thomas talks to himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. I've learned some very interesting things about Thomas.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And Samhain, do you feel like you got to know anyone better?
I think the stuff that Samhain and Kaz talked about was just in the moment stuff, and it wasn't really any sort of body
Yeah, yeah.
experience. It was just quips, and that was it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay.
Like, I feel like Kaz would have learned more about Samhain because Samhain was able to do disguise self, and that's not something that he's like done before in front of the party.
Yeah.
So I think like Kaz would get that, and I just won't have one.
Sounds good to me. Okay. So Kaz, you would get the inspiration check mark on your character sheet. All that good
Okay.
stuff. Did you learn something about Magli, his conspirators, or his servants?
Yes.
What did we learn?
Learned a few things.
They're building submarines.
Yes.
They're keeping people captive.
Yep.
They're not nice to animals.
Very
Yeah,
true.
they're dirty, filthy traffickers.
Something
They're
about
suspicious of Hubert Songshore.
yeah, something about that guy.
Absolutely. So everyone gets that experience point this session. I totally agree. Did you express your character's class, species, or background in a meaningful way? Remember that you
Kaz
can
got
nominate each
her
other.
prayer time in. She got her meditation.
I strongly agree. I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful example of you expressing your paladin devotion. I thought that was awesome.
Especially the new vengeance thing with the whole, like, justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
like
man. Swear to me.
Just much cooler and more articulate.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Anyone else want to nominate someone? I'm gonna nominate someone right away. Sawin for our guest episode, reading of the tarot cards of our guest. I love that. I thought that was great. I would like you to take an experience point for that, if you have no objection.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anyone else want to nominate someone for expressing their class? What is this? Class, species, or background in a meaningful or impactful way?
Juniper literally grew another tail.
Yeah.
I know that would just happen when she leveled up, but
Yep.
she also was really involved with Blackberry.
Yep.
She, it was some pretty quick thinking with the illusion. I think as an illusion wizard specifically, casting an illusion that got us out of a tight spot was a good way to express that.
That, and I think she also had some growth when she made it back to her room. It was like, yeah,
Aw,
that was
yeah.
really close.
Mhm.
I need to get my life in order, and then like physically does that by like cleaning her room.
Sometimes you gotta start small.
Relatable. That's okay because she is small.
Hey. Oh, and of course, we've got the warlock doesn't know that he's, warlock, but I think he still inadvertently expressed his class by getting that pseudo dragon.
100%. I think meeting and having that conversation with the pseudo dragon, learning a little bit about the pseudo dragon, Mercury. I have to go change all of my notes now from pseudo dragon to Mercury. I'm excited
I'm
about
sorry.
that. No. I knew I was gonna have to do that. I wanted to make sure that you had the chance to name it.
Oh, Lewis.
So awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. So you can take that experience point as well. And then, did you overcome a meaningful obstacle or impediment to your character? This can be personal growth, knowledge, or defeating something big.
We all made it out alive.
I mean,
this is a personal one. Do you feel like this was what you accomplished was significant to your character? I don't know. Like in some ways, it's possible that you could accomplish a major mission and not feel this is true for your character, because your character was not as invested in the mission in some ways or something like that. Right? So this is definitely your character's perspective. Do you feel like you accomplished something that's major?
I mean, I already took a point for this for Paladin, but I would say it more applies to this in that I felt like this part of what happened during this was like solidifying in her head, like she's unsure of what her deity may want from her, but she was like, well, she was making it known that she took her oath, basically. Like, this is what I would want to do, and she made that decision.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. I would take the experience. I agree, actually. I think that's a good call. I love it. Why don't you take the experience point for this one instead of the last one, and then if you have another way to take the last one, you can if you want.
I was going to say, beating Heck out of there, like getting the information that she could, and then like trying to escape safely when the alarms went off. Like, I don't know. I think sticking around to like investigate stuff would have been cool, but it wouldn't have necessarily been where Kaz's head is at. So I think she expressed her character well in that way by getting what information she could, but not putting herself in unnecessary danger, which has kind of been a theme with like the bravos that accosted her outside the office, and I don't know, the stepping in to defend Samhain only when it was necessary.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. Take that point as well, then, Kaz.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else feel like they overcame a meaningful obstacle or impediment to your character?
Based on some background stuff that Thomas hasn't really had a chance to talk about, he's part of the uncertainty as to where these powers are coming from now, and he's spent kind of his whole life in devotion to this god. It's been a source of uncertainty, and getting an immediate response right after a prayer of some kind from someone in a moment of crisis feels to him like he's affirmed something, or that he's overcome that uncertainty that, you know, his God is working with him.
Works for me. Take it. Juniper, Samhain.
I think I'm still waiting on this one.
I approve.
Because stuff that I thought was going to come up hasn't come up yet, so I think we're going to... I don't think it'll come up until, like, we have major downtime again. That makes sense.
Yeah, and we'll have major downtime soon. Again, obviously, I'm a huge fan of downtime and things like that. Juniper, what about you?
I think I'm on the cusp of it, but it hasn't quite hit.
Works for me as well. And then our last question is, did you express your relationship to your alignment in a meaningful way? Did it complicate your life? I mean, I'll propose one point here. Why did you free all the animals?
Because that was what you were supposed to do, and I mean, partly
It
because
was a good thing to do.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, you bumped me on the shoulder, like you were ringleading that.
Yeah, no, I would say Juniper. I mean, it was Thomas who actually did it, but Juniper, you were the one who was insistent about it, right? You were the one who was pushing for it. So I would say Juniper. I think that's expressing good. And like, it in some ways made your life easier, but it also really changed the narrative, right? Now we have this whole subplot line of smuggled animals in the sea's embrace.
Now I have all these animals. These goddamn animals. What are we going to do with them all? We can't keep them all in the tavern.
Yeah. That's awesome. Anyone else?
I think it was very chaotic of Samhain to like disguise himself as that old man and try to like cause a distraction in that way, and
trying to
just
start
kind
trouble.
of shake things up a little. Yeah,
I think someone trying to cause trouble is absolutely a chaotic action. I totally agree. I totally agree. Someone take an experience point for that if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Kaz?
But being neutral good has its perks. I can be chaotic if I want to.
oh, you're neutral good? Oops.
Oh well.
Oh man. Oops. Well, let's chaotic. Oh well, my bad.
No, it's okay. If I don't get that point, then I don't get that point.
I don't think you get that. If you're not, I mean, you could.
No, I'm neutral. I'm neutral good. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I get that point.
Why do I think you're chaotic every time? I'm someone's chaotic good.
No. But neutral good would still be like the constantly insisting, like, no, you don't need to pay me. No, you don't need to pay me.
You know what? That's true.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect.
That
didn't affect the. I don't think that affected the narrative enough for that to be impactful.
Yeah.
I don't think that was impactful. It was a nice moment.
No. Samhain walked Kaz home.
No comment. No comment.
That was very neutrally good.
Oh man, I may cut this question. Okay, fair enough. I've tried. I was looking at the model that I stole this from, and their alignment system is very different than is a little different than D&D's, and like every class has literally an action attached to their alignment. That
interesting.
By being that alignment, if you do this one action, you get an experience point, right? If you're that class and you do this one action, you get the experience point. And we may look at that too as a possibility. I don't know. I'll look at things and see how I feel about them, or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have anything?
Sorry, guys. I'm an English major. I'll talk myself in circles.
I
Yeah,
think,
Give me enough rope.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it was chaotic of Kaz to agree to work as a double agent.
I think that was very chaotic of Kaz to agree to do.
Mhm.
And I strongly
Yeah.
agree. I was wondering if you would say that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I strongly agree. And I would absolutely give you that point. 100%.
Yeah, I think neutral good's a hard one, I feel like, to come up with.
Yeah, well, let
I hate
me
to nominate
Well,
myself, but I offered to let Blackberry stay with me.
yeah, again, I don't think that affects things enough.
Blackberry's not going to be a major player?
They may be a major player, but I don't think having them stay with you is
As opposed to, like, having him be out on the street or, like, squatting with Juno in a tiny room. No
Hey,
offense to
maybe
Juno.
Yeah, okay,
that
you know,
tiny
yeah, you're
room
right.
would have been really cool.
no, you're right, Thomas. I think that is significant.
I'm not trying to grasp at straws. I do
No.
feel
I
like
think
that
you're
would
right.
be a thing and that it hasn't been mentioned yet.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I take it back. I think you're absolutely right.
Which is crazy because in real life I would be like, oh, no, you don't get credit for that. That's like the bare minimum for being a decent human being.
Mhm.
But in this thing, I'm like, no, that was a good thing to do.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a legit good thing to do. I mean, you took in a refugee, a trafficked person, right? I think that's fundamentally a good
I
thing
think
to do.
we've all agreed that Foxville are people by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, take that point. I may be reviewing and revising some of the leveling up system, but yeah, take that point, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I had fun. I hope everyone had fun, and thank you, stream, for watching. We're gonna have a YouTube channel up soon.
Ooh, I'm
And
so excited.
the YouTube channel will have all of our previous videos up on it, so that you can check them out. Because our first VOD is going to be coming down because we've been doing this for a month now, guys.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Ooh.
I know we're 1 month in and all that good stuff. So yeah, hoping that we'll have that all set up, and we should have that live for you by next week, I think. If I keep my stuff together, yeah. That was
Yeah,
me.
if you want me to put like captions on the VODs, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to do that before we like make them live to people, and it does take a little
Oh.
bit of time.
Never mind then. I take it back. Give us a couple weeks to get that up and running, people. Don't rush us. We'll get to it when we get to it.
God,
it'll
stop
all be
demanding, guys.
awesome. Yeah,
No, we want to make it accessible for
Yes.
our
very important to
deaf
us.
and hard of hearing friends.
Absolutely true.
Who are kind of not really always included in
Yeah.
stream games for
Yes.
tabletop. So
Yes, absolutely.
This
Inclusion
is my
is a
contribution.
huge thing for us. We value it immensely. It's an important part of our value system here, and I am particularly grateful to Jess for arranging for this on her own free time. Thank you for donating your time. I greatly appreciate it, Jess. We'll have stuff up soon and all that good stuff. And thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and go live good and happy lives.
And maybe you'll get an experience point for it.
And maybe you'll get an experience point for it. And who knows? Maybe someday you'll level
Maybe
up and
you'll
just
level up.
know a new spell, or I don't know, grow a tail.
I've been waiting for 30 years.
or you get a pseudo dragon.
Yeah, just shows
Yeah.
up randomly.
I'll take what he's got. Yeah.
I'll have what he's having.
I love the pseudo dragon. That sounds like a better deal than a tail. I don't know. I think I might go for a
Well-
tail over a sarcastic pseudo dragon, but I'm not certain.
Well, it's quite a tale.
Well, you know
that's
what?
for
I
sure.
think we have 3 sarcastic pseudo dragons living with us right now. So
Fair enough.
No, when I take Find Familiar for real, we will have 3 sarcastic pseudo dragons, fictionally and non-fictionally.
Fair enough. Okay, well, take care, Stream World, and all that good stuff. Fairly well.
take care. Bye.
Bye.